Y'all good? Everybody straight?
Perfect.
We straight?
Yo.
Hey man, let's get to it, man. Welcome back. It's the Twin Pod, man. We back in here, episode 11. We had a legendary episode 10 with Twan. Appreciate him. Can't wait for him to come back.
Shout out to Twan.
Shout out Twan. Shout out Twan for real.
Great episode.
And now we gonna keep the ball. We're gonna keep the momentum going. We got somebody here that that is very influential, I should say. But before we get into him, we definitely got to do our mental check in with our dogs. My two guys. So first to my left, Ken, man, how you feeling today, man? On this great Saturday, how you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling great, man. Blessed to be here. Blessed to be alive. Blessed to see another day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. To my right, man, how you feeling, Donnie B? Donnie B.
What's up, y'all? I feel great. Happy to be here. I'm a little tired, but
Yes, sir.
we living.
Exactly.
We are
living.
beyond blessed.
We are living.
That's beyond measure. I'm doing great.
And for me, me.
How you doing, brother?
I'm doing well, man. I'm blessed. I can't complain. Guys, give me another day to, be here and give purpose, to my life. So I'm just excited to just be here. But we got somebody for y'all that I think y'all would love and appreciate having on the pod. This guy I've been knowing for a couple of years. He's been a good friend of Ken. They've been able to be in the gym together. And I don't know, you can touch on how y'all met in a little bit, but this guy right here, man, he's one of the ones, man. I respect everything he do, and I was just couldn't wait to have him on the pod because I know he has some good things to say. So it's our boy Noah, man, but they call him Njack.
What's up, y'all?
How you feeling? How you feeling?
Where's the camera? Where's the camera? This one
right here, yeah.
I'm fired up, y'all. I'm ready for this.
How you feeling though? No, like how's everything going with you, man?
God is great. We seek out to fulfill what our purpose is on this earth, and
right.
we know that we have our ups and downs, but
right.
Ultimately, the goal is always the same.
It's always the same.
Serve the kingdom. Let's do it.
It's always the
Move
same.
forward. Let's press forward.
That's a fact.
So how so we can go and touch on it right now. So how did, because I know you guys became really good friends earlier on before you met us. So how did that come by when y'all met?
We first started, hanging out with each other. He used to train me out of his garage. He used to personal train. So I'll go to his house 5 a.m. every day, working out, training hard. Like a dog. Like, this is the most intense workouts I've ever experienced ever in my life, and I couldn't thank him enough for that because it truly changed my whole fitness journey that I'm on right now. Fast forward through that, we ended up starting businesses together. We started a Amazon FBA business. We were selling products. And then, just going out, networking, trying to make it happen. And then we just bonded and became closer in that way. Became closer in our friendship, became closer with God. And then God just truly blessed me with a great friend. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah.
How about your perspective on Ken?
I say, man, when you do taxes with somebody, it's real.
No, that's for real.
It was real. I mean, God works, and you don't know who you need in your life, but when he places people there, it's from him. And Kendall was that person. He just was very intellectual, very on point, great at research. A lot of people skip those steps. They think they know more than they do.
Right.
And he's very diligent to his work. So I know that on this podcast, you guys have a really great partner because he does not skip steps. And that's the exciting part as far as being here. But our relationship, man, yeah, just an awesome cat. Started training. I used to work him so hard in that gym. I had to go to the gym and work myself out just as hard as harder because I felt like I was punishing him. Yeah.
I was going through it.
Yeah. He'll tell me the story. He'll tell me the stories
Yeah.
on how y'all met and the gym days back in the day.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
and I mean that's kind of how even me and Ken got close ourselves. Is we wouldn't really even say it's competition. It's just you just wanted to see your partner get better.
Absolutely.
So we look at each other not as comp, just like if he's getting better, I definitely need to get better because he gonna leave me behind if I'm not there.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So that's all, and it's like it just branches off from you. It just rubs off on him, and then he brings it to us. So it's like we able to get that same energy that you give him, he give it to us. So it's like it's all a great thing to have because when we first met, I think was that like a bar or something? I forgot where it was when we first met, but I think it was at one of them. Njack,
yeah, it was at a bar.
I forgot it was. I think it was somewhere in like
it was in Fullerton.
Yeah, we met, and I'm like, he shook my hand, and I went in, grabbed it, and I was like, damn, like
Y'all don't believe that.
I experienced the same. I experienced the same thing, bro.
I was like, God damn.
Yeah, we was in the car.
It's true.
We was in the car, and we introduced each other to each other, and gave me this firm ass handshake. I'm like, hey, bro, I know I've been hitting the gym lately, bro. I ain't that damn weak. But
that's that respect level that you carry. You know what I'm saying? Like just the small things that you do, just giving a handshake. Like you don't really, it's okay to mess around, but like just giving a firm shake, you could just show like you mean business and you a guy that has integrity in your life. So just having that little experience, I'm like, okay, this is somebody that you want to learn from and you want to have around your corner because he could bring a lot of value and vice versa. You can bring value to them.
Yes.
Do you think it's a lost art with like parents not teaching their sons how to like look somebody in the eye, firm handshake, speak stuff like that? You think it's a lost art?
What you think, Jake?
You think it's a lost art?
I'm just asking.
It's an interesting question. I know that every child is different, and I know that there's a standard of what a child should do.
It could be that too. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but every child is different. There's a standard of what a child should do, and but I do believe everybody should be very, very direct. I feel like that's what gains some form of respect back.
Exactly.
As quick as it could be possibly, as quick as possible, rather than I'm thinking, y'all.
No, go ahead. Take your time. Take your time.
When I get deep.
Take your time.
The question was, as far as it being a lost art, I do think that people have lacked, in the more simple terms, I do think people have lacked on those fundamentals more today than they have ever done in the past.
Right.
Yes. Absolutely.
I agree.
I think those social skills are needed, and especially in Western society. I know other cultures they carry themselves differently when it comes to social standards, but in the West, as men, I think we touched on this in the pod last week. As a man, there's just certain things that you should and shouldn't do,
right?
And it's like a standard. You know what I'm saying? Like paying somebody the respect. Like, just like when your pops walked in and, to shake your hand, you stood up, looked them in the eye, said, "Hi, my name is Noah." You know what I'm saying? When you enter in somebody's home, you pay them that respect. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a lot. You were taught that. You know what I'm saying? It's not something that you just naturally do. It has to be taught to you. Somebody has to tell you or show you how to do it. It's like you have a role model that you look up to when you're older. I mean, when you're younger. And you see them doing it, it's like, okay, that's how I'm supposed to carry myself, or that's how you should want to carry yourself.
Exactly.
I mean, he said it right on. Everything I wanted to say, he said it. You know what I'm saying? Just to piggyback on what you saying, Rome, I want to ask all three of y'all, who do y'all look up to? Who's your role model? Who got you to the man that you are today? Because I know everybody's here with respect. They came with everybody, even people behind. They all have some type of somebody that they look up to. It doesn't have to necessarily be I don't want it to be like, you know, a celebrity or anything like that. Because for me personally, I'll answer it myself. I look at my dad. I look at my pops. You know what I'm saying? And my uncles. You know, those are guys that, you know, I look up to on a daily basis that, you know, they give me different aspects that I need in my life. Like, one, my dad, he's a hard worker. He works hard. He puts in more time at work than that he does with us. But we understand that, you know, there's a price to pay for the lifestyle we trying to live.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I look at him like that. My uncles, they're very, I'm able to open up to them. I'm able to talk to them, and they're able to give me game on life that they already experienced as being a young black man. It's like they experience it. So I'm able to look through their lens on certain things in life, and they're able to give me game. So they're able to prevent certain things that I don't have to go through because they already went through it.
Mm-hmm.
So I ask you guys, and if you're ready to answer, who do you look up to? Who's your role model that, you know,
My
define
father
you?
was my first role model.
Right.
And you don't know how much people shape your life inadvertently until you start to get older and more mature. And at some point in age, around at least 13 for me, you start to see that your role models aren't perfect, you know, and you can start to be frustrated because you expect them to do things in a certain way all the time, right, of expertise. And that's just not the case. And that's why my father, Jesus Christ, has been the ultimate role model. But just
Yes,
understanding
yes.
my father more and more as I mature, my value of respect continues to go up. He didn't have a father growing up. His father left him at 2 weeks old. And for him to be in my life for the past 25 years and be with my mother for the past 27 years, man, I couldn't tell you how he did it other than God. Because I see his poise and I see his discipline. He's never raised his voice at my mother in his life. He's never cursed at my mother in his life. If the argument gets way too hot, he separates himself until it cools down and he comes back. And I see these certain patterns that I do. And would I have done that if I wasn't in the household with a man who conducted himself that way? I'm going to tell you no. No. So I owe that to him as far as in that sense. Yep.
Shout out Pops.
Shout out Pops, yeah.
Shout out Pops.
Yeah.
How about you, Ken? We hit Donnie out there, but how about you, Ken?
I would say my first role models growing up were my parents, my uncle, and then like Noah was saying, once you get older and experience more life outside of your parents, you get to build your own character. You get to see your role models' flaws, and not necessarily that's a bad thing, but it gives you a new perspective. You start to look at them not as superheroes, but more of humans, just like you are. You know, when we were younger, you just kind of look at your parents like superheroes, like they can't do no wrong, they're perfect. You know what I'm saying? And when you get older and then you start to see their flaws, you begin to see their flaws. You might resist them at the moment, but then you come to realize that sometimes you just gotta forgive them and just give them grace and say, okay, yeah, you're human just like me. And once you realize that, I feel like that strengthened my relationship with all my role models as well, because since I could now see that, oh, you're not superhuman like I thought you were, everything that you've done for me is even more monumental than
Yes.
I've ever even imagined.
Yes, he hit it right on the dot.
I like that one.
Since you're not superhuman, it makes you even more of a superhuman.
That's a
Yes.
fact.
So yeah, everybody that I've looked up to in the past and thought that they were superhumans, and I look at them now, they're still superhuman to me, even though I see your flaws.
Absolutely.
That was I don't even know how to go on from that.
That was profound.
That was good, bro.
That was great.
Another 75,000 views right there.
That was great.
How about you, Donnie?
How about you, Donnie?
Well, definitely my two parents. I definitely like Noah and grew up in a 2-parent household. My dad, he really just taught me hard work for sure. I used to be up late nights until 5 a.m, playing a game, watching him get up, going to work while I ain't got a job, you know, and it just like hit me like, what are you doing? And he didn't even really have to like tell me, but he just showed me like, you need to be doing this if you want to be great. And so I kind of got my hard work from him, and I got my kindness from him too. So my dad is probably the most kindest person in the world to me.
Yes, sir.
He would do anything for anybody. He would treat one of my friends like his own son. You know, I don't know, he's just great. And also my mom too. Even though she's not a man, she knows what a good man is.
Absolutely.
And she definitely found it in my father. And like you, he's never raised his voice. They've rarely gotten to arguments. I thought it was normal. I thought it was normal to not have disagreements in relationships. So when I got into my relationship, I'm like, why are we arguing? You know, because I didn't see that growing up. So, but yeah, my two parents is great. From a higher level, probably like Kobe though.
Oh,
I like
yeah.
Kobe,
I
Definitely
wanted
Bean.
to say something real quick.
Go ahead.
That without my mother, though, I would be dead or in jail, and that's a fact. And God sent my mom as an angel to this earth for me, and every blessing that I've had, I've counted most of them through my mother. And I would want to say that as this all being black men for myself, there's no other person on this earth that can understand a black man more than a black woman, and that's period.
That's a fact.
Period.
That's a fact. Yeah.
Because there's an unspoken language that we've been through in history that they can only understand and they can only feel. Period. So I just want to say that.
I think I got it. It's only right. Shout out, mama. My mom too. You know, she's everybody shouting mama.
Everybody shout
Mama.
their moms out
Do it, man.
right now.
Love
Right
mama.
now.
Love mama, man. Love my mom. She completes the whole thing. She's the glue to our whole family, and I know she's watching. She's going to watch this, so you know, shout out mama, man. That's you know, she's the one that keeps everything together. So yeah, but to go on to the next one, you know, I just wanted to ask you guys another one. When we look at the newer generation, and you know, I'm pretty sure all of us, and I'm pretty sure you want to eventually, you know, be a father down the road, and you know, bring kids up. Like, how important is it, you know, now we in this new generation, and you know, we got so much social media, so much exposure to the world for the kids. Like, how important is it to get back to the basics for bringing up a child?
What do you mean by basic?
Like, just, you know, even when Njack was saying, like, you know, just doing firm handshakes, you know, looking a man in the mirror, opening the door for elderly people. I'm just saying, back to the basics. How
like
important
laying out
is
that foundation?
Yeah, like, how important is that? You know, as we continue to, you know, like, go farther from that, how is it important to try to revisit and get back to that? Because it's getting out, I think it's getting out of control right now.
I've been here first.
Got it.
I would say that the first thing is having a foundation in Christ. I would say that everything in the world always changes, but God's word always stays the same. And don't take my word for it. Look in the book. Nothing changes. The word stays the same. Everybody else, our judgments, our opinions today can be different 10 years from now. How we feel about families, our partners today can be different 10 years from now, but God's word always stays the same. So having a base foundation in Christ is going to be the first thing for a child. That's going to be imperative. And then secondly, you guys,
Go ahead.
okay.
That's all you.
And then secondly, understanding discipline, and that life isn't just about having fun, it's about service. And finding fun in service is what makes life more joyful, more rewarding. And when I say that, I'm saying finding something that you like to do that helps others. You know, so
Right.
I'm not talking about staying in front of video games all night. You know, it's not helping other people. If you're speaking in front of a mic playing the video games and you're saying anything that's encouraging other people to go out and help others, that's something. But I'm talking about idle time, just not doing anything, that don't count, right? So having something that's of discipline that is a service of others, children should be involved in, and telling children that you do this because of this, not just saying you do this because you have to.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, you clean your room. Why? I never understood it. And my cousin, at a young age, made a pretty clever point. He said, "Why do I got to make up my bed if I'm going to just lay back in it tonight?"
I used to say
And I thought to myself, that makes sense.
Mhm.
But as an adult, I understood that every day I make up my bed, I'm starting off with the first accomplishment,
Right.
the first act of discipline I start off with,
Mhm.
and that sets up for the rest of my day.
Your
And then
first
when
win.
I go into my bed at night, I've made my day, and I get a lay in what I've created, and that is such a big deal, and it creates that big momentum.
definitely.
Absolutely.
That was my first
Definitely.
time hearing that. That is
Definitely.
crazy.
Mhm.
I didn't.
Well,
He was talking. I forgot the question.
I think the question was how important is
There we go.
laying down
Yeah.
the foundation
Yeah.
for the youth.
Yeah.
And then to touch back on how you saying it all starts with Christ. I feel like just like everybody has their own unique walk
Yes.
in their faith, I feel like everybody also has their own unique walk towards faith. I wasn't forced upon Christianity. You know what I'm saying? Of course, it was introduced to me, but I later on, as I became an adult, had to find them myself. And that's not for everybody. Some people, they were forced upon a religion, and they might not see the significance of it at a young age. And they might feel like it's forced upon them. And then later they may begin to resent it. And then later on in life, they may find the Lord's love again. I was very grateful that I was able to find the Lord later on in life.
Amen. Amen.
It's still time to shout.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, everybody has their own unique walk
Absolutely.
towards faith as well. And yeah, as far as, teaching your kids principles, discipline, all that is great. Like Njack was saying, something as simple as making your bed, starting off your day with your first win is very important. You know what I'm
First
saying?
win. That's a good one. I like that.
Finding your purpose in life instead of chasing pleasure, that's big too.
Yes.
Because purpose advances society.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody here has a purpose. Like, so we wouldn't be living in this type of society if people didn't have purpose. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason why we started this podcast.
Mhm.
It's our purpose. This podcast is advancing society in
Mhm.
some way, shape, or form.
That's the one. Yeah.
You know
That's a
what I'm
fact.
saying? When some people
100%.
have a purpose of becoming a doctor, and then they go and help millions of people in their lifetime, hundreds of thousands of people in their lifetime, to help cure diseases, cure mental illnesses, whatever it may be, to advance society. Engineers creating new buildings in different places, agricultural farms and stuff in rural areas and food deserts and stuff to advance society. Everybody has their own role. Everybody has their own purpose, and everybody needs to find their own role and their own purpose in life to advance society, and then you will be fulfilled with your life.
I like that answer.
That's a good one.
What
man.
is on the road today?
Is that what?
What is purpose?
What you were put on this earth to do.
Yeah.
How can you find that?
Trial and error.
Trial and error. Y'all said trial and error.
Can you air out?
Can I air out?
Can you air out
I don't
finding
thi-
your purpose?
I don't think so.
Define air out. Give me another.
I'm saying I continue to try to find my purpose until my expiration date, and I never found it.
That's happened to a lot of people.
It has. So what is purpose? Because if you can air out, then how can you help someone guide them to finding their purpose? And I'll give you guys
Go ahead.
what I feel purpose is. Purpose is what you can do for the rest of your life without getting paid for it.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then there's a twist. And the twist is that if your purpose does not serve others, it's a hobby.
Okay. So that's 100% true. I ask you this: what is your purpose?
My purpose in life is to serve.
Got you.
And however I decide to serve, that would be my purpose, right?
Gotcha.
So for myself, I don't want people to feel how I felt before.
Mm-hmm.
And what the enemy does is he will make you feel inadequate. He'll make you feel less than. He'll make you feel like who you are today is who you'll be forever. And that's the furthest thing from the truth.
It's furthest from the truth.
So as a seed in the ground, a seed sprouts in the ground first, in the darkness, and then it uproots.
And then blooms.
Absolutely. So a lot of us in life, we are under the ground still, and we're still merging to come up from the soil. And we get confused in that spot as if God has nothing on my life, the world has nothing for my life, and there's no service I'm able to offer.
Can you have purpose still being in the soil?
Oh, absolutely. That's the growing process.
Got you.
Yeah, that's the sowing process. That's the part to where you do the most growth.
Got you. Yes.
It's when you're uncomfortable. Absolutely.
Yes.
I feel like this is just a testament of God, because the verse I chose kind of touches on this point that we're talking about.
It happens,
right now.
you know. It just everything just happens for a reason.
Yeah.
I look at that, you know, and that's a great thing that you said that.
Mhm.
But I just wanted to.
Oh, I
answer
mean,
your-
simple. I just think purpose is what makes you happy, doing things for other people, like serving people, doing stuff that makes you happy. Some people is music, some is art, some is communication, whatever, like doctors, like Kendall said, whatever that you can do that you can live without being paid for. And obviously you want to get paid, but if you can live without that, I feel like that is your purpose for sure.
I think so. I believe that. And what Njack was saying on that purpose, just being able to serve. There's so many ways you can serve.
Absolutely.
So many ways. It could be at the church. It could be, you know, at a mall. It could be at a food stop. It could, you know, it's so many ways you can serve. It's just serving and purpose is two different things. It could be two different things, because you can serve, but that is not something you want to serve and you want to do for the rest of your life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You have to act within your gifts.
Exactly.
So if God gave you the ability to sing and people are alluded to your voice, that means you need to use the gift that God gave you
Right.
to allude people to his kingdom.
Yeah.
That's it. That's why you have your gift. Now, if someone, as a woman, has the gift of beauty, right, her beauty is supposed to attract people in so she can continue to share those messages. Right. If your gift is speaking, that is what you're supposed to do.
Right.
Vocalize what you have to say, and people will listen to you because you say it eloquently.
Right.
You say it in a way, David, to where when I listen to you, I feel like I have a boost of confidence. I don't need a
Right.
Celsius or C4.
I
I feel like I
appreciate
got
that.
energy now.
I
So
appreciate
that's
that.
what your gift is, and that's what you have to do. And people think that if it's minimalized, that means it's not special. No. Just because your gift is speaking doesn't mean it's any less different than someone who can sing great, right? Or someone who can slam a ball into a basket from 7 feet away.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make it any less special. But we think that because we're not able to we think that because people will aggrandize other people more than what we have going on. And then we neglect what we have and we don't water it as much. So we
Got
can
you.
never get to
Yeah.
a full
Yeah.
potential.
Yeah.
I'll say, go ahead. You say?
Oh no,
No.
no.
I'll say, I want you for this one. I want you to be able to look into the camera, and you know, because I want you to be able to speak to people that's going through exactly that you are currently going through, or that you went through. So, what is it to somebody that's looking right now? What is something you will say to them that's in that soil and don't see a purpose, don't see, you know, a light at the end of this? What would you say to them if they even right here? What would you even say to them personally?
Well, 3 weeks ago, I had a young man that I worked with at a past job at a trampoline park. And whenever I was around him, he always had a smile on his face, and he was always a good kid. 3 weeks ago, he took his life. A young black man. And what the enemy would do to people is make them feel like what they are is not worthy. And what they're going through will never change. And I think that maybe some other people than me have been in that position in life before, to where they feel like nothing is working, nothing will ever change. But the truth is, it will, and you have to continue to push forward. And you got to continue to look up, because if you can look up, you can get up, right? So let's continue to persevere. So when you're in those dark places, continue to understand that they do not last forever, because nothing in life lasts forever, right? And you're going to make it out, but you got to continue to push forward and persevere. So that's the message I would say to them.
That's powerful, and I hope that definitely gets to somebody, because that's what we, and we said in the other pod, that's what we really here to do. We really.
And Kamar Morrison, that was his name.
Rest in peace.
I mean, rest in peace, Kamara, man. That's a good one. But yeah, that's what I was saying. We want to be able to relate to everybody, but us three can't personally relate to everybody because we haven't experienced what everybody's been through. You have a certain life that there's some people that's watching that's been through that, and the same thing, you can't relate to everybody that's watching, but you have a life that somebody's been through and somebody's going to go through that you can touch bases on and tell them, like, it's okay, it's all right, take your time, take one day at a time, because there's good thing that's coming your way. So, and that's how I like to think of it. Yeah. That's how I like to think of it, because I said we had lives that a lot of people had that we cannot relate. We can't get to them. We can't.
And I say that you're born pure. And then the best thing you can do is die the way that you were born, in that purest state. And what the world will continue to do is tell you that you can't live that way. You have to change to be able to adapt to your environments, into society, and that's the hardest race that most of us will ever have to face. When you've been betrayed before, when you've been hurt, when you've been lied to, when you feel like what you're going through will never end. And I'm here to say that from a person who's been through all of those things, that there's a brighter side to it. There's a brighter side to it. And people look at the muscles that I've had, and I do have, and they say they were glorified in their own way. And I say that everything that I have as far as the muscles was built through pain. It wasn't built through luxurious treatments or pleasure. It was all built through pain. I used my pain for something better than what I could have done, rather than drinking, rather than sex, rather than smoking. I've used it to be able to build something that could glorify the kingdom and what we're here to do. So
that's crazy.
When I know you, just looking at you, you've, like you said, you've been through a lot. You've been through trials and tribulations. And I wanted to ask Ken on this. We all have been through pain. We all experienced it. How does that reshape the trajectory on on your life? Like, how important is pain? Because a lot of people don't like it. I mean, it's not supposed to be likable, but
not only that it's important, I believe that it's vital.
Right.
I feel like life without pain is purposeless. I feel
okay. I like that one. Yeah.
I feel like you need to. God is going to. We talked about this last week. God is going to put you through trial and tribulation. He's going to chasten you in order for you to get to that next level of where he needs you to be. You will not get there just by unwrapping the gift and here you go. You need to change your character. Yeah. There's qualities in you that needs to be unlocked for you to reach this next level.
Absolutely.
And that comes from chastening. That comes from being disciplined. That comes from facing adversity. And without that, if you're going to keep trying to take shortcuts to get to the gift that God has for you, it'll be stripped away. Because you are not ready. You're not equipped yet for what God has for you. You have to become better. That's why if you ask anybody that has sustained any level of success, they will all tell you that they have changed. Every single last person. They are not the same person before success as they are after.
Absolutely. I agree.
Yes, sir. Damn.
What about you, Donnie?
What was the question?
What? How important or how big is pain? What's?
Yeah.
Damn, forgot the question. But yeah, pain.
It is definitely important. I feel like people that grow up spoiled and have everything handed to them, they have the worst outlook on life because whenever something happens that they don't agree with, they just point fingers. They they pout, cry, and they just don't get it. But people that actually been through stuff and they overcame stuff, it means something.
Yeah.
It's like getting paid for it, overcoming it. Like it's almost that feeling, but better because you keep it forever. And I feel like nobody wants to go through pain, but life is gonna life regardless,
Right.
and it's just up to you how you take that. A lot of people like myself been talked about, looked over, doubted, all that type of stuff, but that type of stuff just fuels me
Absolutely.
to become better. And I don't point fingers. I don't complain. That's another thing my dad taught me, to not never complain about anything, because look where you at. You got it made literally in the shade. Like you literally got it made in the shade. Other people, other kids, other people, they don't have two fathers. I mean, two parents. They don't have good friends like we do. They don't know when their next meal is going to be. So just like thinking of all that stuff and the fact that it can be real, it can be you. It's very important for sure.
How vital is pain to you, David?
Man, it's vital because it's not only like what's the word I'm looking for? It's not only you feeling the pain through like a cut or something. It's definitely mentally too.
Right.
And we're so big on this pod. We're going to keep doing it, keep promoting mental health. So I feel like pain mentally is I think it's a very big thing. So when I've went through my trials and tribulations, I'm just so glad that I was brought up the right way, that I was able to go through it and be able to take healthy habits to get back to where I wanted to be. Yeah. So when I look at pain is really to the point where you have to. We was just touching on it last week. You have to touch that stove. You have to feel that heat as you touching it to let you know, like, okay, I can't touch that no more.
Right.
That's hot. Like, so when I look at pain, I feel like pain is just it. I think it's more important than a lot of things that we've prioritized in life. The success, the money, the cars, all of that. I feel like in order to get to where you need to get to, you definitely need to get to that pain. You definitely need to go to a place where it's dark, especially men. You definitely have to go to that place, because if life was just sunshine and rainbows and ice cream, like you said, it's like there's no purpose in that. It's just, what I'm saying? It's like, even when I say like watching a movie, it's like there's got to be some type of like
Villain,
something like that. There's got to be a problem that's something in any movie. It can't just be nobody wants to watch a movie. It's just everything's great. We just living life. Everything's just sunshine and rainbows. There's got to be a problem. Yeah, it's got to be a problem that somebody has to go through. That's what catches our attention.
Yeah.
And every age in life, because like even the little kids watching superheroes. Nobody's gonna watch a superhero that's just there's no villain. They're just doing their thing and everything. So when I look at that, I feel like pain is just is one of the ones that you are in the moment you don't appreciate.
Yeah.
Right.
But after now we're gonna segue into it, but when we I know you're big on the gym, and so are we, but when it's same thing as the gym, in that moment you don't like that pain. You don't like it.
Nah.
Not at all. You don't like it, but after going that especially Njack, you go in that bathroom, take that pump picture.
You like the results, but not everybody likes what it takes.
Yeah.
You take that pump, yeah, for sure.
Fact.
So, and I'm so like, I'm so upset that I didn't get you on the interviews at Golds. So this question is back from Golds.
Okay.
So, and for people, don't get upset that I'm nostalgia, bring that question back. But as somebody that's big on the gym, I don't even say, I'll just say you're an athlete. How important is the gym for you?
The gym is important. I think routine is even more important. But the gym is very important. What it does for me is it okay, that's off. I would say the gym is important, man. It creates habits. And when you do something that's hard every day, there's a certain amount of fulfillment that you feel when you're done with it. And continuing to feel that kind of perpetuates you forward in other places in your life as well, right? Because you get that high from that accomplishment. So when I hit a workout early in the morning, it sets me up for the rest of my day. Now I know that if I'm faced with a flat tire, rather than moaning and complaining about it, I just get it done, right? Because that's what I do when I'm in the gym. I just get it done. And then when someone needs to get picked up from school, whether it's out of my way or out of my control, I gotta go pick up my sister, do something. I have other work I gotta do. I just get it done because I'm just used to having these patterns of this is uncomfortable, this workout feels inconvenient, but this is what I have to do.
You just got it done.
You just grow and it callicizes your mind. It fortifies your mindset. And anytime I have a harder workout and I continue to get used to that level, now it's no longer harder. And when I work out with other people, they're like, man, you're crazy. You're doing things I've never done before. And I'm like, man, this is my warm up. This is my,
That's a fact. I experienced it.
The funny thing is, when it becomes my warm up, my bodies adjust and they adapt as well. So that means I have a question to ask myself. Am I comfortable with the level I'm at? Talk about comfortability. And when we were talking about pain earlier, what the pain was sacrifice, right? So am I willing to sacrifice my comfortability of the level I am now? I have a nice body. Everybody compliments me, men, women. Is this good enough because the world is saying this is acceptable? Or is there a level that God has created for me bigger than what they have that I need to get to, right? And that's when I push up even harder. And that's when that sacrifice comes in, that pain comes in, I go even harder.
That whole thing come in.
And then that's where it happens in other places in my life as well. So in business, I have a house here and I'm good. Well, how about that one up there on top of the hill?
Right.
No, but you took a car to drive to this house. No, you need a rocket to drive to that one. I may cost me a couple of gray hairs and I have to be stressed out a little bit, but I'm going to build that team and I learn another lesson and new levels to where I have to go. So I would say the gym is very important for those reasons. Yes.
Let's go around. Ken,
I'm like you saying, it's important to build routine, and what the gym has made me realize about life in general is that it never gets easier.
Yes.
I'm saying you just get better.
Yes.
Point blank. Period. Know what I'm saying? It never gets easier. 45 pounds is going to be 45 pounds whether you're going to get stronger or not.
Yep.
Know what I'm saying? 300 pounds is going to be 300 pounds whether you could lift it or not.
Before you keep going, I remember it just came to my head. They said, don't complain that it's harder. Complain that you're not good enough.
Right.
Damn.
And get better.
Yeah, and get better.
Yeah.
So it just came to my head. I just wanted to have that out there. Just don't complain that the work is hard. Just complain or ask God to get you better.
Like that better.
Yeah.
And then that's a testament to being honest with yourself.
Absolutely.
Right.
Know what I'm saying? Some people just have to look in the mirror and be honest with themselves instead of complaining and asking why. No, just be real. Just get better. Know what I'm saying? And that goes for anything in life. Nobody's an expert. Nobody's perfect when they first start.
Yes.
No. Yeah. That's nobody's
Say
perfect.
something real quick, man.
Somebody
We
said,
talking
can
about
we increase the volume a little bit?
Increase the volume. Do I need to speak louder?
No. It's on here.
Oh.
Well, they can't hear us from the. I think they're asking us to talk louder.
I'll talk louder.
Yeah.
I was
Oh,
about to
you
just
can't-
say
they
that
can't
too.
hear.
Oh, we probably got to
Yeah, we
talk
gotta
louder.
talk
Yeah,
for
I'll
that.
speak a little
Yeah.
louder. When we
Okay.
talk about self-development, bro, we're going to have some energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to have to have some energy. Yeah, this is not the
Yeah,
library
man.
club.
That's
We're
a
talking about
fact.
self-development. We're going to have some energy.
Yo.
Because what we're talking about right now will save and change the trajectory of people's lives.
Right,
bro.
because
I'm telling you.
Many people stop at adversity,
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
not knowing that what they want to accomplish is on the other side of adversity.
Absolutely. But what if it's another wall in front of that wall? What happens?
You got to jump
Gotta
that
keep-
wall.
You got to
gotta
jump that wall too. But what if it's a wall in front of that wall?
Then
You gotta jump that one, too.
For real?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
And then when you feel discouraged, just turn around and look at all the walls you already jumped.
Exactly.
That's where you get your
There you
confidence.
go.
from.
Absolutely.
There you
There's
go.
a pattern to it, right? I've
Yeah.
done this before.
I've done this before.
Yes.
Facing adversity gives you
They-
confidence.
They said confidence is based off you have evidence of what you already did.
Right.
So you looking back like, damn, I did that.
Right.
I'm here already. So
Right.
it just shows that's where confidence comes from. You can't just build it and just
You can't let nobody burn your book.
exactly.
And when we have these past accomplishments and achievements, and people come in your life and be like, "Well, yeah, you did that, but what are you doing now?" And well, that doesn't really count. You're in high school when you did that. You won a championship. You're not in high school anymore.
Yeah.
The point is that you have a history of winning. That
Right.
means that you know the steps that you need to do to do
Exactly.
it again, and you may be faced with something bigger, but that doesn't mean that it's impossible.
Right.
That's what they say in sports. You know, when you win, you have that championship DNA.
Mm-hmm.
You have
Absolutely, yeah.
that you have that no matter when you won, you have that evidence
Mm-hmm.
that you won.
Yeah.
So when you look at that, when you go through things, it's always trials, like you said, trials and tribulations. But when you go through things and you go through it, you have that evidence, and that builds confidence
Right.
to
Absolutely.
get you to where you need to get to. Because if you go in and don't have no confidence, that means you don't have no evidence that you put in the work.
Yeah.
You know,
This is a very, very simple analogy for people to understand it. Like, who you think will have more confidence to save their family's life of a free throw shot? Me or Stephen Curry?
Steph,
Why?
because he has the
Doing it.
evidence to show that he can
Literally.
make all
He's
these
literally
free
a professional basketball player.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Labeled,
Yes.
if not the best, one of the best
Yes.
shooters
We can say that.
in the entire world
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
Yes. That's that evidence. You have evidence. We
Glad
don't
you
call
said
somebody the best shooter without having the evidence to back it up.
Absolutely.
Who will have more confidence of saving somebody's life, Stephen Curry or a doctor?
Doctor.
A doctor.
A doctor.
Doctor.
Why?
Because that's what they're specialized to do.
No, I'm saying
Simple.
they've been through the fire. They had to go through all the schooling. They've been through residency.
Right.
They had to practice and practice and practice. That's what they call physicians practicing art.
Right.
They have to practice just like professional athletes have to practice. They
Right.
have to practice. They have to practice. They have to practice. So when it's time to perform, they have the confidence to do
Mhm.
their job well.
Absolutely.
And he getting me excited, man. Let me turn this one
That's
up.
what I was saying. Yeah, no, that's a big deal. Absolutely.
Yeah, now to think
ahead, Donnie.
about sports and like how you said about practice, I remember Kobe. He said practice. Well, the coach made practice like 10 times harder because when they get in the game, it's like, oh, I'm used to getting my ass whooped in practice. We about to smoke them easily.
Yeah, practice. yeah,
Because
it should be
practice
harder.
is so hard. It's like whatever me and my team get into when we go out in the world and fight battle, like I know he got my back and I got his back.
Right.
And with trial and tribulation, it's definitely shapes you for the better for sure.
I agree.
I 100%
Yeah.
agree.
I agree with that.
I agree with that 100%. When you look at that, when you look at the evidence with anything, I remember one thing. I think since we're on the athlete or sports talk, I remember Chris Paul said, "Reps remove doubt."
Yes.
If you have the reps, you put in the reps. That doubt that you have, that fear that you have, will eventually fade because you have the evidence to back it up.
Yes.
So I look at that when I'm doing things and things don't go his way, or when I post the clips, I know that if I continue to continue to have them reps, continue to have that evidence of me posting, one is going to hit, and God willing, one did hit. I mean, others hit, but one did a very good amount of views. So if you just continue to do it, continue to do the work, and sometimes, and I think you might like this one, sometimes you just gotta detach yourself from the goal that you want. Right. Just cut it off. just don't even worry about that. Just detach yourself and just focus. And I know everybody says just focus on the process. Just focus on that. And that's why I really enjoy posting these clips, being on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, whatever we own. I enjoy the process. If I don't get the result that I want, I'm fine. I'm just glad I'm able to do it again. I'm glad that God gave me the ability to go try it again, because without that, then it's like you're gonna be so hungry to get to that high that you wanted when we got to the views that we wanted. You want to get there. I'm already past that. I'm ready to go get another one. I'm ready to go post some more. Even after this pod, I'm about to go back into the lab. I'm about to go to the gym after. But after that, I'm about to go post some more videos and really get these ones up and get these videos up. So I'm excited about that. I never really liked the process, but once you, like you said, your purpose, once you like doing something that you don't like to get paid for, it don't matter if you're getting paid for it, that whole process becomes fun to you. It becomes fun. And certain stuff like this becomes fun to me. I just enjoy doing it. Like seeing the reactions, seeing the comments, seeing the shares, seeing if it grows up, see if it goes down. If it didn't do well, I'm like, okay, TikTok not messing with us today. Okay, that's fine. But just seeing that roller coaster, it's just, I don't know. For me, it's just fun. I like doing it.
Have you guys ever had Hell Week before?
Yeah.
Hell Week?
Hell Week, yeah.
Hell Week?
I've had Hell Week.
Right?
Yeah.
And you guys understand that through those days, it's just dog days.
Yeah.
Dog days. Like, and that's how life is. And I use that throughout my whole entire life moving forward. I'm like, these are my dog days.
Mm-hmm.
These are the days where everything I'm doing is just not going to be fun.
Exactly.
And I have to understand that some things in life just aren't going to be fun.
No.
You just got to get through it.
Right.
And I think sometimes people are looking for that pleasure, looking for that relief, and sometimes it's just not going to come right away. And the least people rather you tell them the truth than say that there's an alternative or lie to them. You know, and I say that sometimes in life, you guys, it may be a month stint, maybe 6 months, and maybe a year, where you got to just put your head down and grind and work. You know, that's it, period. Yeah. You got to sacrifice. That's a part of life. And then once you get through it, your fruits will be able to speak for you, and you'll be able to live and see things from a different vantage point. Mm-hmm. But there are days where you got to just be a dog, period.
Some days you
got to just be a dog.
Some days you just can't splurge. You can't spend that money. You gotta hold that money. Put in your savings. Some days you can't. Some summers for the people, there's gonna be some summers where you can't go out all the time. You gotta go put in that work and put your head down. You know, maybe this is not the summer for you to go out all the time. Maybe this is the summer where you put your head down. You know, there's gonna be a million summer pool parties. Come, you know, God willing, keeps you on this earth. There's gonna be a million of them. Maybe this is the year that you don't go to them and just stay in and put your head down and just work.
David,
so,
how about 10 years of growth in 1 year? Is that possible?
10 years of growth?
10 years of growth in 1 year.
I think a lot can happen. I say a lot can happen.
Yeah.
For sure.
A lot can happen in a year.
A lot can happen in a day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I say a lot can happen.
If you put your head down, you grind, you can get a lot more done than someone can in 10 years. You can get done more in 1 year. So just by how you work.
I'll even say this, speaking on that right there, we was talking about it. We talked about a lot of things, but how, like, in this society and it speaks onto the gym, the what is it called? The gratification when it comes to the gym. Remember what it's called when we was talking about having that gratitude after when you're in the gym?
Delayed gratification.
Delayed gratification, my bad. So when we speak on that, and that's on the gym, how we in a society where we put in a little bit of work and expect a big amount of success or a big amount of just joy coming our way
or something.
or something. You know, they just put about a little bit of work and like, I believe I want everything that comes, you know, that I deserve everything. How big, and like I said on the gym, how big is it to be delayed of that gratification?
I believe people are getting sold phony concepts and they're biting into it because it feeds their emotions. So once we detach from that and you start telling people the truth and be like, hey, this may take a year. If you train with me, this may take 2 years for you to see what I have, you know, or see what body that you want that you have in store. And then once they bite onto that and they settle into that, they can understand that, oh, this may take a while. And then they appreciate the process a little bit more. But when people are seeing things so fast on social media, this guy changed his body in 2 months. Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's not ordinary. And people expect the same type of results. And it just creates this culture where people are starting things and they're not finishing them. Because why would I want to finish something when I'm obviously not doing it right?
Right.
You know, David, he got a six-pack and he's only been working out for 1 month. It's because he's black, you know. The reality is that
That's a fact.
that's not real. You know what I'm saying? So it may take 3 years for you to see a substantial difference in your body compared to someone else. But if you have an educated answer, now you have an educated mindset. And I think a lot of people are skipping steps. And this is piggyback into what I was saying about Kendall earlier, is he really takes the time to do the research. And I think a lot of us are not doing the research for ourselves. We live in a very fast-paced world, and we have AI now. And we don't think for ourselves even more than we weren't thinking for ourselves 10 years ago, right? And go back even further than that, it's just day and night.
Right.
So the concept is just dissipated, it's disappeared. And I feel like for winners, sometimes it actually makes me feel like a shark around blood and water. It kind of charges me up when people start to just feel like they can just throw their towel in and be like, no, I don't want to do this no more. I'm like, for real, you just started. Like,
know what I'm saying?
It's only been 2 months and you don't see the results. Like, oh, I can really eat in this area because you guys are letting go way too soon.
I just strapped up my boots and y'all throwing in a
like,
towel.
oh, 'cause you know,
like, what are we doing?
It's like you're running a race and you see people just dropping. You know, like maybe this first place isn't that bad, man.
Maybe,
know what I'm saying? It gets lonelier and lonelier the higher and higher you get.
Absolutely.
Trust me, because that goal isn't nearly as important as the adversity standing right in front of you.
Yeah, I know, exactly.
Not nearly as important.
Got to say that again.
Yeah, I was about to say it one more time. Say it one more time.
That
Kendall's on the road
goal
today.
isn't nearly as important as the adversity sitting right in front of you.
So you're saying
because without you facing that adversity sitting right in front of you, you will never reach that goal.
Absolutely.
So you're saying adversity is more important than the goal itself?
Yes.
Can someone give this man a fan?
That's what I'm saying. Kendall on the road today.
He on the road. He twin doing his thing for real.
You will never reach that goal. You will never ever put that trophy in that trophy case without going through adversity.
Without going through adversity, because it's not even like I said. It's not about the trophy.
It's not about the trophy.
It's not about the trophy.
It's not about.
It's really not about the trophy.
It's not about the trophy at all.
It's not about the trophy.
No, you know what is crazy though? I was watching some on YouTube, I think, and it said if somebody gave everybody $1 million, it would soon enough reach the people that already has multi-millions of billions of dollars.
John Hope
sooner or
said
later.
that.
Yeah, it was him. Yeah. And that really got me because it's not about having the money. A lot of people say, "Oh yeah, if I had $1 million, I would invest in this." It's like you don't have to be rich to invest.
Right now.
Yeah, you don't have to be rich to invest in stocks or whatever. You just have to learn how to invest in, whatever you want to do or buy this. But it's the behavior that poor middle class people have that keeps them broke. And that I just found that very interesting. That was crazy.
Yeah, you have to change.
Yeah, you have to change.
You have to be a different person.
You got to change.
Because there's something like what you guys are saying. There's something that the 1% does that the 99% of people just don't do. They don't like it. They don't think it's fun. They're not interested in it. But the 1%er, it's like, all right, y'all don't want to make this money or y'all don't want to do this. Shit, I'll take it. I'll take all y'all. Yeah. And while I'm in the process, I'm controlling all y'all or whatever. Y'all gonna work for me. y'all gonna do all this shit for me because y'all don't want to do the little stuff that's eventually gonna make you a part of the 1%.
Yeah. Just stay present in the moment. Think about what you have to do today to get to tomorrow.
Yeah.
Think about what you got to do right now to get back home. You know what I'm saying? People just take the little things for granted.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's a blessing that you even made it back home and you're thinking about a goal that you want to reach 10 years from now.
Yeah.
Right.
I've been a victim to that.
You know what I'm
Me
saying?
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Me too.
Everybody has, you know what I'm saying? It's just human nature. But you have to bring yourself back down, not be too full of yourself.
I'll fix it
and
later.
just thank
It's
God
tough.
for what he's blessed you with in life. You know what I'm saying? God blesses people with adversity. If you live a life of no adversity, God is not with you.
It's something. It's something.
I prayed to
Wrong.
God that I could move a mountain. And I woke up with a shovel.
Yeah.
All right, wrap it up. That we don't need to. That was too good.
That's
that was
hilarious.
that. Say that one more time. We need that one more time.
I prayed to God I could move a mountain, and I woke up with a shovel.
Like we talked about. We talked about it. God's not gonna give you what exactly what you're asking for.
Mhm.
He's gonna give you the ability to get what you want.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like you said, I want to climb. I want to. What was it again? Say it again.
I prayed to God I could move a mountain.
Move a mountain
And I woke up with
with a shovel.
Get to work.
Get to work.
Just like
That's not what I asked for. Hold on. I don't even know if I really want this anymore. God, I got to do it all the... No, sometimes he's like, I just want to see how diligent you are. I just want to see how obedient you are to
Yeah.
what you say you want. I want to
Yeah.
see if you're a good manager of what you want.
Right.
Oh, sometimes he wants to just see if you put the shovel in the dirt, then you could take care of the rest.
Exactly.
That's
Right.
all.
Exactly.
He said, David, just post 10 videos, and then on the next one,
I got you.
on the level, I got you. I'm
I got
taking
you.
this one all the way off.
I got you.
But I just want to see if you're going to do the work. I want
Exactly.
to see if you are who I believe you can be,
Mhm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he takes care of the rest.
Man,
yeah.
that's powerful.
It's just like in sports. We all heard this saying, when a coach is on you, that means he cares.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
When a coach is on you, that means he hasn't given up on you.
Can I say one?
Yep.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
But it's when the coach isn't on you.
Yes.
When the coach isn't telling you, go 100%, do this, do that. That's when you need
not
to be
getting in the
worried.
game.
Absolutely.
You're not the
Know what I'm
niggas that's
saying?
getting in the game at all.
Yeah. Same with your parents. If they stop talking to you and start taking more vacations,
Yeah.
they done with you, man. I ain't gonna
That's
lie.
a fact.
Nah, I'm messing. But
I can't.
we good. Yeah, I played football at Carson for 2 years, and I ended up transferring, to the rival school, Narbonne. And I went from having to do huddles to a hurry-up offense, which was just day and night. And I was playing an entirely different position. I played defensive end at Carson. I played wide receiver at Narbonne
Mhm.
with kids that were absolutely athletic. Kids at Carson were too, but the program was just a little bit better at Narbonne.
Right.
And with the hurry up offense, it's just signs, and I have to be able to read them. And kids, if I don't know and I ask them on the other side of me, you should know. Like, yeah, well, I only been doing this for 60 days, so it take me a little bit longer,
Yeah.
whatever.
Seriously.
And I would run my route, and I wouldn't know what I'm doing. I would be unsure about it, and I would go about 50% just to make sure that if I had an opportunity to see where the quarterback was laying his eyes, I can at least be there,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And Coach Douglas, the head coach in Narbonne at the time, he came to me and he said, Noah, look, he said, I don't care if you know the route or you don't know the route. He said, but go and give it 100%. He said, because at least then you still have a chance of being open. And that
Right.
changed the rest of my life.
That's a fact.
Changed the rest of my life. Everything I did.
That's some.
Right.
Because even if I'm not sure in life, God, I don't know where I need to be. I don't know if this business will work. I don't know if this gig is going to get me what I want out of return. I still got to give it 100% because even if my mess ups, I can still win.
That's
But
a
if I'm
fact.
giving it 50%, if I'm giving 70%, I'm not going to be open. So that changed my life.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Changed my life. I never thought about it like that. I was running my routes at 50%. I have a chance of being locked up. I have a chance of being covered.
Right.
But if I'm going hard, even at things that I may not feel are in my cards, I still have a chance at winning. And I still have a chance of learning something. Because if I go into business 50% of me like, well, I don't know if I'm really supposed to be doing this. God, am I supposed to be doing this or not? If I'm going 50%, I'm not learning and retaining all the information
Right.
properly.
Right.
Yeah.
But if I am going 100%, I'm like, you know what? I did everything I needed to do, and it didn't work out. At least I can take what I learned from there, and
Yep.
I can put it to my next
something
business.
else.
Yeah.
But I
Yep.
can't go through life on slow mode. I can't go through life half doing things. I need to go 100%, and that changed everything in my life.
Yeah.
Damn.
Give it your all.
I remember when somebody said, I forgot, it was an athlete that said, you know, people ask him sometimes, why do certain things when, you know, the results are not in your favor? And he was like, I do it because there's a possibility that I can be successful in it. So why not? Why not? So, and I look at that, it's like, you know, sometimes if the play's not going to you, there's a possibility that if you go 100%, it could go your way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if I look at it like that, you know, take that and put into life, you know, maybe the odds is not, the odds are stacked against you, but if you still go in as if like the odds weren't stacked against you, maybe God can turn some things around. He can turn things around for sure. So when I look at that, everything that you go into, you know, maybe it's not, you know, for you at the time, but if you go in and put in the work and go in as if like this is something that you want and you hungry for it, you might get the result that you might not thought you would have, but you might get the result that you probably need.
Yeah.
So that's how I look at it. So that football analogy was perfect. You know, I like that one. That was
I
good.
think we touched on that in a different pod too. I think I said something along the lines of having integrity in your work.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Having integrity and having some sort of pride behind what your name is attached to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You don't want your name attached to anything half-ass.
No,
Right.
nah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Give it your all. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's sports, whether it's a business, whether it's school, whatever. You wanna leave that setting knowing that you gave it your all.
Mm-hmm.
Because the biggest regret is having regret.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? You don't want to come out of a situation regretting that you didn't give it your all. Because
Exactly. Yeah.
if, like you said, things didn't go your way and you didn't give it your all, then you're left with regret.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Even Brian said, I got so many, you know, quotes. Brian said, you go into something, put it in your all. If it doesn't go away, you at least put 100% into it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. There's nothing else you could do after
There's
that.
nothing else you
That's for
could do.
sure. You did everything.
It's in guys, even with the clips, even the social media people, do the best you can to make that video as good as it can. You put into TikTok, it's not in your control no more. It's not. It's up to God now. You leaving it up to God. It's up to God if he's like, yeah, we gonna get this one to go up. I told them the one that went viral, that was a throwaway video. I just made the video, boom, put a sound. I wasn't really even thinking about it, but I made it to the point where it's like, okay, I put my best effort, but I wasn't really expecting a big, result.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Literally.
He put it in there and said, some things where you don't think it's gonna go your way, it's going. The vision that you have right here, God got something
way.
Yeah. So that's how I looked at that clip. I'm just like, we just put it in, put my work, boom, and then boom. Now people's looking at our thing. We still small, but now people's looking. Now people's having conversations about the Twin Podcast.
Yeah. Now it gives you the pressure to have integrity.
Exactly.
You know
Yeah.
exactly. Okay. Now you've asked God. Okay, I want a big platform so I could reach the people that need this information.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, well, let's see how you work first.
Exactly.
Right.
Okay. So the first few episodes, we're gonna see how consistent you can be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Okay, you putting in work, you're
Mm-hmm.
consistent,
Mm-hmm.
you have integrity behind your work. Okay, boom. Now we're gonna give you the eyes.
Now we're gonna give you the eyes. Let's see.
Okay.
Let's see.
Okay, let's see. Okay, now that you got the eyes, okay, are you gonna fold under pressure, or can you still perform?
It's different. It's different tests.
Yeah.
Like you climb that mountain. Now we just talking about confidence. You climb that mountain.
Yeah.
Now we can give this for you. Now you climb that mountain. You looking back. You like we did all these things. This mountain it's high, but I got results. I got evidence for me to have that confidence for me to climb this one. It might look difficult, but I got it. You know what I'm saying? So I look at that as that's 100% for sure.
Yeah.
I have a question too.
Go ahead.
How much time do we have?
We ain't no time.
Okay,
you know?
cool.
You good?
I mean, where we at?
We're about an hour 13 in. We can.
Oh, okay.
You good?
Yeah.
We good? We fine. We good.
Okay. Well, first, when did the tide change as far as the pressure? So do you guys feel a rise in pressure now?
I feel no pressure.
No pressure.
Yeah, that's a killer.
No pressure.
No, I don't feel no pressure. I don't necessarily like. Is that your question?
Yeah, because the word came in pressure.
Okay.
As far as the eyes are on that, so some pressure. What pressure has a positive connotation behind it too. It's
Definitely.
not just negative. There's a lot of things you can do with pressure that can rise you up. So I'm not saying that it's in a negative way.
No.
You know.
I look at it. You say so?
Oh, I was saying, if you're yourself, I feel like you can't. You don't really need to be phased by pressure. If we were putting on a facade, it's like, all right, now everybody's looking at us. Now we have to like keep that lie going, and that's when it gets harder. But we're just ourselves, and this is we let people know that we're not perfect and we're not the smartest or the strongest. So
How about the pressure to perform and in the way that they expect you guys to do the same thing twice or 3 times or 4 times, or the pressure of them having a certain idea about what you guys should do? How does that buy into the podcast?
When we come into this pod and we all say it, and that's how we grew to be very tight, and that's how we respect what you do and everything. We love criticism,
right?
If it's from the right people,
Right.
We take criticism from each and one of us very well, and we hold it to a high regard. We hold it to a standard where if it's coming from you, it's coming from a place of love. If it's coming from you, it's coming from a place of love. Is it coming from a place of love? It comes from you, because I know you telling me this, you want me to be better.
Exactly.
So him telling me I got to do certain things, him telling me certain, you telling me, I know it's coming from a place where I want to see that man. I want to see that man elevate. You know, I want to see that man do better things, do what he's doing, great things now, but I want to see do better things. So criticism from the right people is something that we welcome. We want, because we are far from perfect. We're far from the finish. There's never a finished product, but we're far from that. So when I look at that, even back to your pressure part, I don't look at it as pressure as someone that's getting all the clips out. I look at it as just, another opportunity to just get better. Now that people looking, now that people's having, like you said, people's having conversations.
Right.
I got people that was looking, sent me stuff. I seen your TikTok. There's people, I remember my brother's coach said he sent her TikToks. Like, we're having there's different conversations going on about the Twin Pod, and that's what we came here to do. We didn't come here to just, what I'm saying?
Talk to ourselves.
Yeah, like, we came here to, spread the gospel, spread, this we want to be able to connect with like-minded people. Yeah. That's why we had Twan here. That's why we got Njack here. We're not gonna have nobody that's just mouthing off, talking crazy on the pod, no matter what type of status you got. If Njack wasn't in respect and he wasn't the man that he is today, he wouldn't be on this pod.
That's a fact.
He wouldn't be on here. But the fact that we respect him, and the way that he talks, the way that he looks at people, the way he carries himself, that's somebody that we want. That's somebody that we want to have on here. That's somebody that, that people need to hear. Because when you on this pod, you representing our pod. You representing us. You are a Twin Pod. What's the word I'm looking for?
Member?
Yeah, member. So you a part of this. So you representing us. We don't want somebody that's, not about that. The same thing that we want, because it's not gonna make sense. You know what I'm saying? So that just goes to testament on how Njack carry himself. So
to touch back on criticism,
I gotta.
When you're giving it everything you're all, when you have 100% integrity in everything you do, you're able to distinguish hate from criticism.
Right.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? when you're faking it, when you're not giving it your all, you won't be able to distinguish the hate from the criticism. Everything is going to look like hate to you.
Exactly.
Oh, they hating on me. Oh, they hating on me. Oh, they hating. No, you're just not being real with yourself. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
Like, you just have to be real with yourself. Give it your all and accept the criticism.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? People, egos are so big and they're just so afraid of failure and rejection that they don't want to give it their all.
Absolutely.
And that's not being real with yourself.
Oh, I want to talk about that too. Let you do that.
Yeah, go ahead. Do your thing.
Man.
I don't think I'm much smarter than. Hold on, because sometimes I am.
He said, "Wait,
I'm not the smartest person usually around the people that I'm around, but I feel like I was definitely willing to fail a lot more than they were, and I say fail and hit hard to rock bottom, like fail, and I feel like that truly is one of the biggest things that led to how successful I was able to become and how fast I was able to get there. Now, yeah, man, how do I how do I bring that back in? This guy right here, hyper intelligent guy, and we did K&D together. Kenny, Noah, and Damon. That was back in 2020, starting in September, October of 2020.
shout out, Dame, man.
Shout out, Dame.
Yeah,
Sir.
shout out Damon.
Yes, sir.
And I mean, this guy's research abilities and what he was able to do for our business was monumental. And Damon, his expertise when it came to online sales and e-commerce was just on another level. So what I learned from myself at a young age, around 19 or 20, was I didn't need to be the smartest one in the group to be one of the most effective. And what I decided to do was, I can just be an orchestrator. Right? If I have leadership skills, I can be the orchestrator. I can have the best researcher. I can have someone who's hyper intelligent when it comes to e-commerce, put them together, have these meetings, and we can be able to do something that's a lot bigger than what all of us are used to doing. And that's what we had did, which was awesome. And around that time, too, we were doing conventional stocks. And then I was exposed to option trading.
Man.
That's a whole nother. Yeah, that's a whole nother.
But no, that's interesting because
Changed my life.
without the visionary, like the person you are, none of that would be possible.
Yeah.
Every group needs somebody that's gonna have the vision that supersedes everybody else's vision.
Yeah.
Like David, without him, this pod would be non-existent
Yeah.
because he had it in his mind months and months and months ago. Like, we need to start this pod. He had that vision, and something clicked in his mind where it's like, we need to do this. I don't know where it's going to take us. I know I want to do this, and I want to do it right, and I want to do it with the two people that I care about.
Yes.
And me and Kendall, it's like, all right, we're going to put our best foot forward and help you out with that. But without him having that vision, none of it will be possible.
Absolutely.
So that's why, you guys worked out so well, because you got somebody that knows their role. Damien knows his role, Kendall knows his role, and you know your role as well, which is...
Can I get personal?
Go ahead.
Like,
That's all we hear about.
he doesn't know this, and I'll let him know too. But my most critical mistake when we're all in business together is when we're sitting at the table outside and we're negotiating or discussing over what product we're going to choose for FBA business. It was our first product we're going to put on there. And Damon and Kenny, they said, the pipes. And in my mind, I said, I don't smoke. So I just have this uncanny feeling about doing something to do with something I don't have any passion, or not even a passion, because as a businessman, passion is out of it. And we've learned about that through Market Superheroes,
Right.
as far as passion products. But it was like, I don't smoke, and I just feel this uncanny feeling. But for myself, and being amongst one of the ones who was orchestrating it, I felt like if I were to overpower the two's decision, I would be kind of like a bossy person.
Exactly.
Come off in a way where I'm like just overbearing.
Yeah.
So I said, let me take this one for the team and not give as much of that feeling I have and kind of pull back. And we went through with it. And, of course, as I said before, I gave 100%. But those products that we had, how much units did we do? So we did pipes. And not only did we do pipes, we're people who do 100%, right? We people who go 100%. So when we did pipes, and again, for anybody who doesn't know what FBA is, it's fulfilled by Amazon. So we have these e-commerce products that we sell online, and we send them to Amazon's warehouse.
Okay.
What Amazon does is they distribute our products for us.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Which is a lot more convenient and easier than doing it other ways. And the product we chose was a tobacco product, which is prohibited, right, from Amazon. And we did about 1,000+ units of it.
Damn.
And we spent thousands of dollars just to be able to launch the product. And what we didn't know was the product was already on Amazon and it was selling famously. Like Kendall did the research. The product was selling. We would have made thousands of dollars. And I say thousands, I mean at least $50,000 our first month.
Damn.
And would have been able to scale it from there.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem was the product that we had chose, the pipe product, they didn't put under pipes and tobacco products. They put under glass art.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Okay.
You want to get in?
So
Damn.
I mean, not I don't want to get into the specifics of the business, but I want to get into the specifics of our meeting, the situation when we're planning to choose a product and launch a product. The adversity you were having, that battle with yourself, that's a adversity that you have to face too,
Absolutely.
and not skip that step just to launch a product.
Absolutely.
Know what I'm saying?
I feel like I did you guys an injustice by not sticking to what my strongest intuition was, because the truth is, and what I've learned from that, which was years ago now, was that they wouldn't have minded. I went into business with people who were very reasonable and very sound-minded. They wouldn't have minded choosing another product. However long it took them, maybe a week or 2 weeks extra, would have been probably grueling or mundane, but they wouldn't have minded. They would have been like, oh, no, okay, whatever. Like, what a great idea. But, okay, you know, if you're not down for it, then maybe something is a little bit off, right? So they wouldn't have minded. But for me, I felt like, man, am I being too bossy? You know, and I don't like the place of controlling people.
Right.
Because I don't like to be controlled.
Right.
So what I was trying to do as a leader was to be able to allocate just as much authority over everyone. So what I have to say is more respected. It doesn't feel like I'm coming from a place of just saying this is what you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
But what happened was the product ended up bouncing all back. So the product was sent to the warehouse, and we put it under tobacco product. We didn't put it under glass art. So 1,000 units was bounced back
Just off of that error?
off of the air, and we made no money off of it.
Got you.
You know, we sold a couple on consignment in Redondo at a JJ cigar shop. But other than that, we didn't make any money off of it. But that was off of a critical decision that I could have done differently. You know what I'm saying?
And you just learning from that is you just trying to error. I think that whole part is just trying to error.
Absolutely.
You tried, you know, and I wouldn't even say it was close to a failure. You guys tried it, and you guys were put in a position where y'all made a mistake or whatever y'all want to call it. But I'm pretty sure y'all learned something throughout this whole
Absolutely.
process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you just said. So I think that's the actually beauty in that whole scenario. That y'all learned, y'all took something from it.
But you don't get that if you don't do it.
Exactly.
So you are exposed to more of yourself in the more of the depth of the water that you go. You realize more and more about yourself, and that's what the beauty is. And I'm sure Kendall can feel the same way in trying and going hard at whatever you do.
Right.
You learn a lot about yourself.
Yeah. You learn a lot about yourself. You learn a lot more about the task that you're doing as well by going 100%. If you don't put it all, you're all into it, you'll never see the true potential of what you're doing. Know what I'm
What is
saying?
the definition of potential? And you guys'
That's a good question.
opinion.
Potential is a ceiling. You know what I'm saying? How high can I go until I'm capped out? You know what I'm saying? How high can I go until I can't go any higher? That's your potential.
So is
No,
potential the ceiling or the sky?
Got you.
It could be the sky.
could be
too.
the
Because a ceiling has a cap.
It's a limit.
Yeah.
And
I
then
get you.
I think potential is the capacity of what you can be and become.
Okay.
I would say potential is the capacity of what you can become. Now, I would be uneducated to say how much you can become.
Right.
Right.
So I can never say that, but it's just a capacity of how much you can become. Now, you can rank it depending on what you do. So if you work at McDonald's, I can say the capacity is this high.
Exactly.
Right? And if you work as an entrepreneur, I can say your capacity is this high, right?
Yes.
However much God wants you to have.
Exactly.
So I would say potential is a capacity of how much you can become.
Yeah.
What about you, David?
Potential. I love to relate to sports and everything. I feel like potential is I don't like to have the meaning, but I say it's based off the work that you put in prior. Builds your potential. So we look at, say, is it your younger brother?
Younger brother, yeah.
He played for Washington, right? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
How's he doing? Actually, he's doing well.
Doing
Before
well.
we get into it,
Yeah,
he's doing
God is great. He just transferred to TCU.
okay. Shout out to you,
Last year.
Horn Frogs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I know about them. Yeah, but just back, when we're talking about like athletes and everything like that, there's a certain potential that each athlete has going into the next level, but without, like we say, back to confidence, without that evidence to back it up, we can't see your potential. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
So when I look at that, I look at potential is evidence that you've already shown that could get you to where you need to get to. So when I look at that, we look at, I don't know who will say, for example, LeBron back in 03. We look at him. Everybody was saying he's supposed to be one of the best players of all time in 03, not in 2025. Why were we saying that? Because of the evidence he was showing us prior to him getting to the league.
Right.
So that potential is really shown before you even do anything else. So
I don't know. I feel like potential, when I hear the word potential, it's all about a force moving forward. It's never something moving back. When you're speaking, if you didn't say the word potential, I would think that you're talking about a resume.
that's true. I
I
can
would
say
feel
that.
like you're talking about a resume because there's a boy out there who's in middle school now, and I don't have to know what he's done before, but if he were to say what he wanted to do, I'll be like, you have the potential because you have time.
That's
that
true.
becomes his greatest potential.
But I'll look at it. Why does when you said the McDonald's and the entrepreneur, why does the McDonald's potential is at a limit compared to the
question.
entrepreneur's
Good
potential?
question. I was saying
prior to it.
I was saying in the paradigm of staying in McDonald's.
Okay.
I wasn't saying that him job hopping and moving
Gotcha.
forward
Yeah,
into
yeah.
other things. I was saying him staying in McDonald's. Like, no, I'm staying here. I'm committed.
Mhm.
My granddaddy worked here.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
No, I
get-
wasn't saying that this
Granddaddy.
McDonald worker. I'm not anything to do with 9 to 5s. No, I'm not saying that there's
Mhm.
anything wrong. No, I'm saying for
No.
someone who-
Yeah, that's why I just
Oh, my
yeah.
bad. I apologize.
No. Don't even worry about it. Well, that's how I look at it. I look at it, and I understand the resume part you was talking about. Yeah, and it's pushing forward. Potential is definitely forward, like what
Absolutely.
you're doing later.
Right.
But back to confidence, I say you can't have potential if you don't have anything to back that up.
Yes, you can.
Why is that?
Because if you would say at this moment that I want to be a pilot, I'm like, well, what do you have to back that up?
What was
What
your potential?
I would say, well, first, David, you're intelligent.
I think
That's
so a little
nothing
bit.
I would need to know other than talking to you for 1 minute that you're not dumb, right? And do you have discipline? Yeah. Do you say you have discipline? If I were to just ask you, do you have
I
discipline?
definitely do.
Yeah.
I definitely do.
Now, however long it takes you to get there, even for the undisciplined, you can still do it if you continue to put time into it. It
That's
may
true.
take you 10 years or 5, but you do have potential to be a pilot,
That's very true.
right? Now,
That's a good point.
other than what you've done in the past really doesn't matter. You could have been in jail for the last,
sure. Yeah.
you know, and God forbid I'm not saying that about anybody, but I'm saying you could have done things that are very unconventional, unorthodox, and I'm like, bro, I don't know where your life has been or what decisions you have made, but you still have time to be a
The
pilot.
potential for sure.
You still have the
yeah,
potential.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
can understand that. I can understand
Mhm.
that for sure.
It doesn't even. That's the thing about life, and it's so interesting. It doesn't even matter about your past, depending on what you want to do in the future.
Mhm.
You know, now if I want to go into the military and have all these tattoos, and I may not have that much potential. You know?
But it is
I get 'em all-
potential.
I got to get them all removed. You can't
Yeah.
go. I believe in certain bureaus you can't go with tattoos.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's why I said that.
Got you.
But if you can,
That's a good. I look at that. I can understand that point for sure. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely get that.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That was a great point, you guys.
How y'all feeling? You feeling good? How you feeling
good.
about it? How do you
No,
feel
this is-
about
this
this
is
whole
awesome.
thing?
However you guys came together to orchestrate this, I know God did it. What you guys have done is created an outlet for other people to express themselves and what their life has been. And for me to be on here to speak about things that I've been through isn't only to just hear myself talk, because that's irrelevant, but it's to be able to let someone, if anything I say resonates with in their spirit, and they can take it in their life and they can have success with it. That's all that matters to me, because that's what I'm here to do. I'm an expression of relief or help. To gloat or talk about the things that I do have doesn't help or concern anybody. And that's how people become envious of you and jealous, and they want to take you off the map. It's only about how can I help others and how can I be an expression. And it is okay to be able to live in your fruits, and have trophies.
The greatest thing is to learn. It's to learn for sure, and then to pass that on.
Absolutely.
Pass on that knowledge to. It don't even have to be the young. You could be the old too. And that's why I think, like you said, it's this outlet to have. I know a lot of people got podcasts. Everybody got podcasts, but we have this where we want to be able to have you. And I felt. I mean, I knew you was gonna be fine, but when you started to. When you started to feel comfortable, when you started to sit up and you started to, get a little bit louder, I'm like, okay, he's fine. He's good now, and that's what we want to do when everybody comes in. We want them to feel welcome, comfortable. We don't want them to feel like, we pointing at them, we looking at them. We just want you to say something. No, we want you to feel at home, comfortable, and be able to say whatever you feel like is on your mind, because there's no judgment over here. We want you to be able to, relate to whoever's watching. So that's how that is, and I'm glad that you was able to feel like that, because that's what we're gonna feel like with everybody that come on. So we want them to be at home when you come with the Twin Podcast. That's how it
I have
is.
a question. Why do you think it's so hard for men to be quote unquote vulnerable
Oh, wow.
and express their feelings?
Just men. I'll answer that question. I believe that our history in general, just in the Western society, our history in general, off of just being builders and conquerors, and having to just get things done all the time, and being in the constant repetitive nature of that, it takes away from how you feel, and more about what you're able to do, and what you're able to produce, and living in that culture. It leaves a lot of space open.
My bad.
Oh, no, it's fine.
No, I remember when Ken said, you can correct me if I said it. I said we live in a culture where a lot of us men suppress our emotions. Is that what you said?
Yeah. On a past pod.
Yeah.
Culturally, as black men, all we see are suppressed emotions. From our black men that we looked up to.
Yeah.
We don't really see black men that we look up to as emotional beings.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When was the last time you seen a black man crying?
Tyrese, you
Kelly.
yeah, we're laughing. This is
R.
wrong,
Kelly.
right?
Exactly.
You guys are laughing.
Yeah.
That's what-
R. Kelly.
Like,
That was for the wrong reason. But yeah, I get you. I get what you mean. It's and it's like we just. I mean,
or like not even just cry, but be vulnerable about how they're feeling.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So it's kind of like y'all saying it's kind of like how we're wired.
not even how
I don't
we're
think we're all
wired,
wired.
because we're all human.
Jesus,
we're
what?
You know what I'm saying? We all feel emotions. You know what I'm saying? But I think society has made it acceptable for women to display those emotions and not men.
Got you.
I think that's the difference. I feel like we haven't established a safe place for men in our culture to display those emotions.
Can I add on? You say suppress emotions. Would it be right for me to say, to add on to that, we live in a culture where we live in a culture where showing emotions is not masculine.
It's
Is that true?
dangerous.
Well, no. Yeah, like he was saying.
Say it again?
It's dangerous.
Dangerous, okay.
And I
Okay.
can explain
Dangerous.
why.
Yeah, go ahead.
When you open up yourself about things that are important and is vulnerable, it allows someone to be able to manipulate or use your emotions against you.
Mhm.
And the easy way to say it is when you allow people to know something about you, they can weaponize it against you.
That's
If I know what makes
yeah.
you weak,
Yeah.
if I know what your weakness is, if I know what your addiction is, if I know what you can't live without, I can control you, right? So having to be able to trust someone like that is going to take a lot of time. You know what I'm saying? And I think that we're in a state right now to where we're just getting around the corner. We're just getting to mental health issues for men, black men, right? In this community, we're just getting around the corner to that, to where it's okay to go to a therapist. Have you
Right.
guys been to one? Like in person?
I've
No,
never
I've
been
never
to a
been to
therapy session.
You know, I've been to one.
But I do support that though.
Right. We
Yeah.
we all support that, and I've been to one, and I didn't feel comfortable. I had to leave. She said I had to stop working as hard. I'm like, what else do I have to do? As a black man.
She said that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think it's important for you to go to a therapist who looks like you and represents you.
Mhm.
Right.
Because she didn't represent me.
Exactly.
You know, so I don't think she knew how to speak to me in the
Right.
language that I needed to feel heard and seen.
Exactly.
Right? So it's
Other than triggered.
but we're just getting there. You know what I'm saying? We're just getting to the point to where mental health is becoming very important because men are at a rapid rate of suicide, bro.
Man,
I think
talk about that,
black
man.
men are leading in suicide.
I wouldn't think any
for
other
sure.
difference. Yeah.
It's I forgot the number, but it's a high number.
That's
For
amazing.
sure.
bro. That's it's crazy.
Especially this year. And
Wow.
I feel like there's a shortage of natural born leaders. You know, we all look up, well, I don't, but you know, people look up to rappers and like entertainers, stuff like that, as far as like black culture. And I feel like that's what stems it from, because like what you hear, what you listen to, what you see, it's like that's all you know. And if you see just a whole bunch of negativity, hearing negativity, it literally makes you act different. It makes you different. Like that's why when you guys came, I'm playing jazz because like I know that helped me throughout the day or whatever. Like it's on occasions I will listen to like hip hop, different stuff if I'm in the mood. But it's like it really matters what you listen to and what you see on a daily basis, especially on a daily basis.
That's a fact.
Because it starts in the mind, and what the mind tells the body what to do.
Absolutely.
So
Your
you
input.
listening, no shade to bro,
He's
but
onto something.
yeah, right. No shade to him, but if you listen to like Young Boy and all these other rappers that's trying to kill people all day, you're gonna feel that. Like
Right.
you're gonna be dancing this shit trying to like kill people. That's not cool, and it's not okay.
Right.
And people younger than us, middle school, they're listening to that at an early age when their
Very
brain
young,
is not even
yeah.
developed to know what entertainment is and what real life is.
Yes.
And I feel like we're the next up of
We are.
representing.
No,
Even 5.
Oh yeah, you too. Yeah, I'm sorry, but yeah, we're definitely the next up as far as leadership and telling people how to live real life.
Absolutely.
But yeah,
I agree with you 100%, and I feel like what you said was very important and needed to be said. So
Yeah.
thank you for sharing that. And I can see you getting emotional, bro, because what he's
Yeah.
talking about, he really means from the heart. He's not just
that's a
saying
fact.
Yeah.
it wasn't scripted. This is real and uncut. And I would say the same, bro. And how people react to what we do tell them, right, from a very vulnerable state, can make them uncomfortable too. And they may not have the tools properly, the proper tools to be able to help us out of our situation. And I had to understand, telling people that I trusted, telling people that I felt could have the possible answer, and they didn't. And sometimes they used it against me, and it hurt my feelings and it tore me apart. And then I had to understand that they don't know any better, because if they did, they wouldn't do it.
Right.
Exactly.
That's the biggest thing. So let me not use that hate or anger that they make me feel towards them or back at them, because if they knew, they wouldn't do that. And understanding that we're just getting around the corner to this, and a lot of our parents and people that are older than us, they didn't have the proper education to be able to navigate themselves through these issues. So how could they possibly navigate me through it? I've told people before, like, man, I'm out of it. You know, like I'm tired, and they've been like, well, suck it up. You know, and it's like, man, I just wanted to talk. I just wanted to express myself. You know, I just wanted to be heard, and I was met with like, quick, nope, don't want to deal with that. And I had to understand, man, they don't know any better, because if they did, they would know different. And then the language they speak to us is the language they speak to themselves.
Exactly.
So I can only feel bad because this is what they tell themselves, the same message that they're telling me.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I feel like if I didn't have like, because back in the beginning, Davis asked us like who we look up to, and I said my dad, but really so my mother, because on a daily, like we all go through something every day, and we want to at least tell one person.
yes.
And that's why I'm so blessed to have these two in my life too, because I can call them at whatever time and be like, yeah, I'm going through this, or this happened at work or something like that, and then they could just let me just get it out. That I'm blessed to even have that on a regular basis. A lot of people don't have that.
Yes.
They're just told, like you said, like, you know, suck it up, or why are you complaining, or whatever. It's like, I'm not complaining. I'm just have emotion that I want to get out so I can go back and go hard. And then, you know, but if you just going hard and then you on this lonely road by yourself and not really talking to people or expressing emotion, it's like it gets hard. It's harder. The stuff that you're doing, like the tasks you're doing, it gets harder because you have all this information overload in your brain, and it's like, how can I get this out to somebody? And I feel like that's why, like, certain people, like, of older age, like what we call, when we talk about like lust, different things like that, some people pay people to talk to them, different women to talk to them, and just sit there. I'm going through this. I ain't trying to do nothing. I just want to talk to somebody. I will pay. Session. Yeah, I will pay you to talk to me or to listen to me. That's crazy.
Yeah,
but that's what is needed.
I think that goes. I want to go back to saying like how you were saying. Sometimes you just need to get it out, because emotions is a big capacity. It takes up a lot of brain capacity. Emotions take up a lot of brain capacity.
Oh,
so that's why when we're growing up in our culture, they say an emotional man is a dangerous man, not for your emotions to be manipulated, but we're told that emotions are dangerous because they could get you into trouble.
Right.
So you're taught to suppress these emotions so you can continue to think and perform logically, which those are counterintuitive, because in order to perform logically, you need the brain capacity to do so.
Right.
Know what I'm saying? So with all these emotions taking up all this brain capacity, you're going to burn out. And that's when you get suicide rates.
Yep.
Know what I'm saying? That's when you get these guys crashing out, is because their brains are just over capacity of emotions. And they're still expected to perform at a very high level.
Yep.
Which is a lot to ask from a human being, not just a black man.
Period.
There's one emotional shutdown that is very subtle, but I'm sure that most of you guys have heard it before. I have. And it's a question. Have you guys ever told your parents or someone that you're stressed, and they said, you don't know what stress is?
Right.
I got bills.
100%.
I'm paying this. I'm doing. So you guys have heard that.
100%.
Yeah, for sure.
It's very subtle, and I don't know what age you were when you've ever said it, but that's the moment, one of the moments to where you're like, okay. Either what I'm feeling is invalidated or they don't care. It's a lot of ways a child can go about it. Whatever I'm feeling is invalidated. That means my emotions aren't as important as theirs.
Right.
So that means how I deal with this may be a little bit different now. Doesn't exist. So you don't deal with it at all, or you don't find the tools to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say the greatest way as a person who's going to be a future parent is to be able to analyze with your child how they feel
Mm-hmm.
and how we can alleviate that. How can we take these emotions away from you.
Exactly.
Because the stress I felt since a kid and I told them about, I still feel to this day. You know what I'm saying? And learning those tools now, and the truth is we're always going to have some form of stress in our life. It's going to happen at some point. But learning at a young age how to deal with your stress and your emotions, your anxiety, will serve you 10 times better than thinking that what you feel is invalid, right? Because I can never be as old as some of my seniors. I can never be as old as, I can never have problems as big as people in third world countries and people down the street from me. But my emotions still exist. And I have to learn how to deal with them, right? Living in a mansion in Bel Air or living in poverty, we all have emotions.
Right.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Right. And I think it's wrong to, like you were saying, suppress the emotions of kids and children. You know what I'm saying? You have to teach them how to deal with their emotions.
Yes.
This is early on development of emotional intelligence.
Yes.
That you have to, this is foundational, like we were talking about earlier. This is part of the foundational development of a child, is learning, teaching them emotional intelligence, how to deal with their emotions, not to just suppress them. Now I'm saying, oh, why is my child crying, other than just handing them an iPad?
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, figure it out.
Like, no, I'm saying, we have to get to the bottom of why my child is feeling stressed. Just because society says that the reason why my child is feeling this stress isn't as important as why I'm feeling stressed does not mean that it's not important to this child.
Thank you.
Now I'm saying, at the end of the day, this is still a child. At the end of the day, you are you. What you feel stressed about may not stress me out. And it's not supposed to. Know what I'm saying? But it's still stress. Stress is stress at the end of the day. Know what I'm saying? And it's up to you to have the emotional intelligence to work through that. Know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And the thing is, and it's common in all like therapy sessions, it all, like, the main problem that person has at whatever age they are when they go to therapy is, like, it all stems from their childhood. Like, once that therapist gets that thing that they went through in their childhood, that's when you hear or you see the person, like, get emotional or maybe triggered, or you never know. But it all stemmed from that. Like Kendall was saying, it starts early, from when they're 2 to 6 to 10. It doesn't matter. When you're 30, 40, 50 years old, you will never forget how this one little moment that your mom or dad yelled at you for doing this, or just never looked at you like a certain way, never hugged you, or like stuff like that. Once that keeps your emotions suppressed your whole life until you eventually get it out. And that's when you see people getting all, like, emotional and stuff during therapy sessions or whoever they talk to. It all stems down from the childhood, and it is very common in therapy sessions, for sure.
I wanted to just go back to what you said about the you were saying I think it was 3 reasons why your feelings or your emotions wasn't validated. You said one is because can you say that? Can you say the 3 again? Or was it 3?
It's just 2, and I can get to 3. But the first one is they will invalidate your emotions, and then the second one is they'll make them feel as if they don't exist.
Okay.
And that's probably the worst one you can ever feel, is because if it's invalidated, you can still tell somebody, hey, I'm having this problem, my boss keeps telling me I'm an idiot, but it doesn't really matter. And it's like, yeah, well, it does matter, John, that they're calling you an idiot, because you're not an idiot.
Exactly.
Oh, it doesn't really matter, maybe you're not. No, it does matter. You're not an idiot, and people shouldn't talk to you like that. So that's how a child is raised up into an adult, to where they feel like, well, it's probably invalid. It hurts my feelings, but it's invalid. It doesn't really matter.
Right.
The second one is absence, to where I feel something and it hurts me, but I just don't deal with it at all. So I don't tell you about it.
Yeah.
So I hurt inside, but I don't allow you to know what's my issue, because it's not important to you. Because the number one person in my life that was important to didn't care.
Damn. And in that worst, I have a smile on my face all the time.
Strength.
Or not me, but that
Strength,
person
right?
have. Yeah. And just like the person that you were talking to at the trampoline park, he had always got a smile on his face. But if somebody randomly would have just walked up to him and gave him a hug, he probably would have started crying, because it's like I was just this close from doing something that had possibly in my life, and you saved me from it.
These are black men, though.
And he's a black man, yeah, for
but
sure.
These are men that look like us. We look at ourselves,
Yeah,
right, outside of ourselves. So when I see, if I see myself outside of me, I'm looking at you as an expression of me. All of you guys are expressions of me, right, outside of myself. Because I can look in the mirror and say, I'm not that strong, because I know myself, right? But if I look at you, I can be like, that's a black man, because of what they show us.
exactly.
He's tough. He's masculine. He'll get down with anybody. He's probably from the hood. He's been in fights before, right? So I look at you as someone who may not need a hug, who may not need an outlet,
Exactly.
who may not need anybody to truly care for him, because he's a lion,
Literally.
right? And that's what changes the difference, because like you had said, they do need a hug. We do need a hug. We do need to be heard. We do need a place to speak. And that makes all the difference.
I think that's powerful. I didn't even really need to say. I was just glad hearing all three of y'all say what y'all need to say, because, you know, we advocate for mental health, and we know how important it is. Although that we didn't go through something traumatically, we know how important it is. I don't know for you, but we know like how important it can, or how detrimental it can get with no outlet, with nobody to talk to, with somebody not validating how you feel, somebody you not being able to talk to them about how you feel. We know how serious it gets. So when just hearing each and one of y'all say what y'all need to say is definitely a good thing, and I just, you know, can't wait to keep promoting that and keep letting people know it's okay to talk. It's okay to
Yes.
to give somebody a hug. It's okay. You don't know what people are going through. These, you know, strangers are going through. Like you said, a hug could have helped a lot for that man that lost his life. That could have went a long way. A simple conversation. There's been simple conversations that saved people's lives.
Yep.
They could have been gone the next day, but having that conversation
Absolutely.
changed the trajectory of their life. So we want to be able to have this pod, and you know, we're not trying to be superheroes or nothing like that, but we want to be able to have that outlet. If anybody's going through that, you can sit down and talk, and being able to, you know, be vulnerable. You know, vulnerability. I think vulnerability and trust goes hand in hand.
Absolutely.
You know, so
That's a fact.
when I look at that, it's just, you know, without that trust, I can't be vulnerable. I can't. Without you have some form of trust around us for you to sit down and talk about your perspective on life, your perspective on, you know, how you view it. There's a form of trust that you have to have. You wouldn't just go to no regular pod and just be mouthing it. You know, there's a form of trust that you have to have with us for you to talk like this. So, yeah, that's how I look at it, man. Mental health is everything. It's a big deal. We want to put that, instill in our kids and our future kids. Like you
Absolutely.
said,
Yep.
you want to be able to.
Oh, I don't like, you know, when I become a father, I don't ever want my child to be able to talk to somebody other than me or the mom. Like, never. It's always gonna be somebody they're gonna be able to talk to.
Yeah.
On a daily basis.
Yes.
Not the babysitter, not the teacher. Well, it can be the teacher, but you know, as far as the primary, it's like I know my child, good or bad, can come to me for any
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah.
When she's old, when she's young, it don't matter how embarrassing it is. It don't matter how stupid it is. Be like I want to preach that to my children like early.
I was saying to my uncle, I said, how do you catch a butterfly? Are you aggressive when you catch a butterfly? If you guys ever have when you're younger, are you aggressive, or do you approach it with gentleness and love? And for anyone raising a daughter or a son, you have to be gentle for them to want to come to you about certain sensitive topics. You can't meet them with aggression. They may say something that you know is wrong because you've had experience over the last 30 plus years. They're just getting there,
We're just getting started.
right? And sometimes our fear can speak louder than our love, and we can be like, well, you're not supposed to wear that to school as a young lady or as a boy. You're not supposed to yell or shout out a turn, and they just don't know any better. And they need that gentleness, that correction, so that they can come to you about other things. Like, hey, Pops, I smoked weed for the first time. Right? Now you socking him out, and he's laughing because he's like, I really want to tear you up because you know better, right? You grew up in a household where I've told you several hundred times never to do weed, never to do these things outside of what I tell you, and you did it. You've disobeyed me. You start to think about yourself,
Yep.
right? And you think about, from another vantage point, hey, son, what made you make that decision?
Mhm.
All the important questions kind of go out the window rather than making them scared. What
Right.
made you make that decision? You know, Dad, I've been stressed. You know, you and Mom been arguing. Huh?
Oh.
What?
What do you know?
Oh. Yeah.
Mm.
And
What
to
do you
not
know?
be able to handle that, I go out and have other outlets.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you got to really meet people with more understanding than anger and just another style of love.
Right.
It's really
Not a
basic.
style.
I feel like it's really basic, but we make it so hard. We make it so hard, especially, you know, I'm glad that we able to see this, you know, and able to have that same type of mind when it comes to the future and how we want to deal with kids when we have them. I don't really think it's that hard. I don't really think it's that hard. And, you know, this is going to somebody that don't have kids yet, but I'm around kids. I'm around them. I'm able to connect. I'm able to relate to them. I'm able to talk to them. They feel welcome. They feel like I can be someone, you know, they don't like talk, but they always come to me and feel like they can, you know, I can be another form of home away from home.
Right.
So I look at that as like having my own kids. It's like, I don't think it's going to be that hard. Just being able to connect with them and being able to allow them to come to me about anything that they need.
I just feel like when it comes to having children, the reason why some people are stressed on, you know, just, you know, angry with their children is because they had them prematurely. Like
true.
they were, you got to have the three things. You got to be financially stable, emotionally stable, and mentally stable to have children, because your children don't owe you anything.
Mm-hmm.
You don't, like, it's not normal. It's not right, morally right, to have your children work at early ages just to help you pay your bills. I didn't ask to be here. Your children didn't ask to be here. So why in the hell am I taking on your burden? This is your stuff. I'm your son. I'm your daughter.
Interesting, though, because I would say, you guys can fact check me on this, I think most kids are born out of wedlock.
Yeah.
But
For sure.
I think most people, I think most children are born unplanned as well. And just to say that, I don't think there's a perfect time to have children.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So as far as being financially in the right place, especially in the economy that we're coming into right now, if that were to be the case, I think most people should not have children. Right? And I
Right.
think that would be pretty unfair to say, like, if you don't meet this financial bracket,
Can't have a
you
child.
can't have no baby. Because then people go out there and got to do, they're going to have to do what they got to do.
Mm-hmm.
By any means necessary to bring a
Exactly.
kid in the world. If I got to do this, they're going to.
Yeah.
So I would say that I don't think you need to have everything together to be a parent. I think the biggest thing is you need to have the willingness to learn.
To grow.
I think
Yeah.
a lot of people skip that space, right? And they go into survival mode, like you had said, because financial stability is important.
Yeah.
So they go into survival mode. Your importance, no. My importance is to make sure that we're living.
Exactly.
So me hearing what you have to say emotionally isn't as important. And I think that's the part where they need to just sit down for a second, regroup, and know that they're talking to a 5-year-old,
Thank
a
you.
12-year-old, a 15-year-old, an 18-year-old,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, and it's yeah, and I do agree with what you said. I'm just saying there's a fine line. There's like a bare minimum to having children, because it is, I always say this, it's literally a 24-hour job that you don't
Yes.
get paid for.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's not a job, but it's pretty much like a job.
Oh, yeah.
This person depends on you for 24 hours every single day.
I agree.
And you have to be ready for it. You have to be prepared for that in some type of way. And to have somebody born prematurely like that, from the jump, you're like, okay, how am I going to do this? I'm not even with the dad, or I'm not even with the mom. So off rip, the child is going to be without a mom or a dad.
Kind of selfish in a way
Yeah.
to engage in sexual acts for your pleasure, but not be disciplined enough to deal with what the
The
outcomes are, kind of
repercussions.
selfish.
Exactly,
right? Yeah.
exactly. And so that happens, and it's just from the jump. You got to go to court, get custody of the kids. The child is growing up, is going to be with the parent for longer than the other parent. So let's say with the dad, it's all about, discipline, hard work, blah, 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 blah. No emotional. If it's with the mom, it's all emotion. And now that child grows up with anger issues or,
Oh, yeah.
no discipline or whatever.
I got it. Wait, you still?
Go ahead.
I got a question. We're gonna wrap it up in a second, but when you were saying about purpose and doing things, you were saying your purpose is doing something that you wouldn't mind not getting paid for.
Yes.
Is that correct? And so would you say, would your kids be your purpose?
My kids are my purpose. Yes.
Okay,
God
'cause-
gave them, ordained them to me.
I'm just because you saying, he just said, you don't. It's a 24-hour job that you don't get paid for.
Well, that's interesting because if your purpose in life is to be a writer, and then you give that up because you have children, that doesn't negate from what God has called you to do.
I can see
Right?
that.
Exactly.
So I'm not. Your kids are your responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Your kids are your purpose to be able to help them in that sense. But we're talking about as far as what your job is to the kingdom. God told you to write. You need to be writing.
From your birth.
From my birth.
Yeah, no, I'm
Yeah.
saying because your kid. I understand you're saying your purpose is the purpose before you had your kids would be the
same.
writing.
Yeah.
So that's your purpose from birth. That from when you was born.
When God gave it to you, you can get it at 2
Okay,
years
yeah,
old.
I can say that. And then when you had your kids, that became another purpose that you had.
Right.
So I can understand that. I just wanted because he said about the 24-hour and not getting paid. I'm saying his kids be your purpose.
Some people use their kids as crutches to not do what they've been called to do.
Yeah,
Exactly.
They lean
So-
on them. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And
So,
so,
having-
and then now, from a traditional sense, like back then, it was the women's purpose to hold down the house, take care of the children, be with them, help them with their schoolwork and stuff like that. While the man,
you better get in some deep water.
yeah, while the man goes out and fulfills his purpose to the world. So that's why those are kind of intertwined with each other
I got you.
because
Yeah.
it's
I would say
two.
I was just thinking about this last night. I said there's things that women can do a million times better when they're living in their femininity,
Trillion.
trillion times better than what a man could ever possibly do. And there's things that a man can do a trillion times better in his masculinity than a woman could ever dare about doing. And I believe that's what gives us our superpowers and gives us the most respect in our relationships with one another.
Yep.
So if I have my wife and I'm like, I could never do the things that she does. I can never have the patience she has, the understanding she has, the care that she has, the servitude she has. She's just so amazing. And then she looks at her husband like, I could never do what he does. I could
Literally.
never get up and get on a roof and do this and fix this after
No,
a
for
day.
real, yeah.
And they just continue to praise one another because they're both living in their true essence.
Yep.
And that's the way it's supposed to be. But you get people who hold on to these masculine traits. You have women who hold on to masculine traits. They want the control, but they still want to submit. And they battle with themselves. So that inner battle with themselves comes off onto their men.
Yep.
And then you have men too as well. I'm not saying it's just women, but you have men as well who battle with some of their feminine traits, right? They can be catty. They want to go back and forth rather than just understanding the emotions of what a woman can have.
What they call sassy, they call it sassy too.
That's just triggering.
Thank you. Thank you. It is.
I think they've overused that word.
Yeah,
I feel like when a man
Yeah.
is putting you in
I feel
your
like
place,
they're overdoing it.
If a man's putting you in your place and he's right, I don't think he's being sassy.
Not at
But
all.
why you got to always put me in my place? Why can't you just let me have it? Because some men like to live in order only.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Some men don't like to dance outside of that. And if you want a man who likes to dance outside of order, then go down the street,
Please.
right? Go to Ray Ray's crib. So when you
Right.
pull up, a car will be driving off,
Thank you.
Mm.
and it'll be your best friends. Oh no, but I'm saying that's the type of stuff that happens when you deal
Oh,
with
no.
disorderly people.
That's a fact.
So
And that's why we
like
need.
that.
That's why children need both mom and dad in the house.
That's always recommended.
Essence.
Because it's you get
Both sides.
both sides in in one house.
A woman could do so much.
Yeah, a
single
woman
mom
can
can do
only
so
do
much.
so much, and man can only do so
Absolutely.
much. That's why Adam. That's why Jesus made Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve.
Are you always going to be happy in a relationship?
Absolutely not. Being in a relationship and being married is a total. It's not for the weak.
Who do you think understands that concept more in our black community as far as happiness? Do you think men or women understand that concept more as far as, I feel like men have been conditioned to feel like our job is just to serve. So our happiness really isn't in the forefront anyway,
Right.
right? If we're going to the movies and they want to go watch Barbie, and you want to go watch G.I. Joe,
Yeah.
most of the time as a man, you're going to just
Watch Barbie.
watch Barbie.
Yeah, I feel like
So-
with women, that's a hard one because as a man, you spend your whole life going your whole journey into that cliff, not in a bad sense, but just that takeoff moment. But the women, I don't know how they do it, but they get you to do things that you can never possibly do. And that, with her just motivating you to jump off that cliff and use your wings, is just as important as you taking that long ass journey to that cliff.
You know why you say that? That's really important. You said that because femininity brings creativity.
Yep.
That's why women are so colorful and they're so creative. And men have feminine traits as well. We have estrogen. We produce that as well. That's why you see a lot of more flamboyant men. They can be in the arts fields a little bit more,
Yeah.
right? They can be more artsy and they can do things that are a little more feminine because femininity brings creativity.
Yep.
So you do get that from a woman as well.
And
like
yeah,
you're saying.
exactly. And me and Kendall actually talked. He actually put me on game with this. He said like all the people, no shade to them, but all the people that are like the high fashion, like the Louis Vuitton, all of them are bisexual or gay, and that it makes sense because they don't care. Like, all right, this shirt right here or this outfit is gonna be. They have no barriers. It's like what I create is what I create. If it's feminine looking but still manly at the same time, I'ma do it. But if it was somebody like just ultra, like just straight, like it would have a ceiling to it.
That's why we bring structure. That's why men
Yeah.
bring so much structure, and that's why women bring that creativity. And us men have that as well. And
Yeah.
women have that structure as well, but just in our own rights.
Exactly.
That's why when they come together, it creates this dynamic that's so powerful that you just cannot break.
Right.
And that's why, as a woman, understanding a man is so important because you see that he has structure, and it's not because he wants to control you or he wants to keep you in a place where you're not able to shine your true light, but it's to be able to keep people safe and be able to keep the conditioning of the uprise on point.
Yeah.
And that her coming into it is be able to create the creativity and make sure that the uprise is perpetuated and it's able to go faster.
Yes,
but
sir.
a woman, sometimes nowadays in this society, will see a strong man and want to make him weak in some ways because she doesn't understand the essence of a man. I want to make him softer. You're being too mean to me. But you got to understand who he is as a man and give him what he needs and understand your feminine nature. You may need to take some more Pilates classes with your ladies and understand that this man can't be all of what you want him to be in your feminine nature because he's still a man.
And he's
So
not
when-
going to change.
Right? So when you're at the liquor store somewhere and this guy continues to talk to you and you tell him to stop, at least you know you have a man in the car who has structure, right, enough to be able to protect you because he's in the
Exactly.
gym doing
Yep.
masculine things. So it's a balance that
It's
complements
definitely
one
balanced.
another.
Yep.
Right. But it takes maturity and education nowadays,
Yeah.
a lot of education.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be able to get there.
I would just say, like, the greatest gift that you could give a woman is your masculinity as a man, and the greatest gift a woman could give to you is her femininity.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I read the book The Way of a Superior Man by David Dita, and what that book done for me and my relationships with women is really to understand their essence at its core of what a woman is. And if you understand femininity at its essence, you'll begin to see why women think the way they do the certain things they do, and you will begin to understand and appreciate it instead of just being just resistant towards it because you don't understand it, because it's not like how you would think, it's not what you would do because you're a man. You know what I'm saying? She's not supposed to do what you do or think like how you think. You know what I'm saying? If that was the case, you might as well just go be with a man. If you want to, even want somebody to think like you and do things the way that you would do them, real, like for real.
Literally.
Or you would be with a masculine man. I mean, a masculine woman.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You probably wouldn't be happy with that either. You just have to, like you said, educate yourself on what it is to, what femininity is at its core. Yep. You know what I'm saying? And the same thing vice versa for women. What is masculinity at its core?
Absolutely.
That's it.
Fact.
That's, man, you said a lot of good things today. I'm at my lost words because this has been a great pod. It's been a great having Njack. You know, just
Thank you.
spreading his knowledge and his purpose. You know, I feel like it's a great thing to have that for a guy like Njack. But we can't, as we always do. We can never end the pod without the weekly word, giving our word of God. So we got Ken today. Go ahead, Ken.
Thank you guys for having me again.
No, for sure.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ken.
So we're at Hebrews chapter 12, verse 11, which says, "Now no chastening seems to be joyful for the present, but painful. Nevertheless, afterward it yields the peaceful fruit of righteousness to those who have trained by it."
Okay.
I'm going to say that one more time. Now, no chastening seems to be joyful for those in the present, but painful. Nevertheless, afterward it yields the peaceful fruit of righteousness to those who have been trained by it.
What does that mean to you, Kendall?
Go ahead, Ken.
What I got from that is what we were talking about earlier, adversity. You know what I'm saying? When facing adversity isn't joyful in the moment, at the time. You know what I'm saying? But for those who have been trained by it, later on you will reap the benefits. You will see the peacefulness of the fruits of your labor afterwards. But there is going to be times where it's not going to be fun. You know what I'm saying? You may feel discouraged. You know what I'm saying? But that's all part of the plan. That's all part of the process of reaching the end goal, so to speak.
I agree. I thought that was a really
That was good. Say that. I walked off. But say the scripture. Say the
Hebrews chapter 12, verse 11.
Hebrews chapter 12, verse 11.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I
Really
like
good
that.
one, bro.
Yeah.
I like
sharing
that.
I like that one.
There's no joy
Powerful.
in the pain
Yeah.
in the process, but what it brings after is very fulfilling.
Very
And,
fulfilling.
For those who are trained by it.
for those who are trained by it, rather than what against it.
Yeah,
Right.
and that when we say when I read trained by it, I kind of took that into consideration of, okay, your integrity towards your work. You know what I'm saying? You can only be trained by something that you gave 100% towards.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
If you didn't give 100%, you're not going to learn 100%.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You might pick up a little bits and pieces here and there, but you're not going to be fulfilled with everything that you needed to know if you didn't give it your all.
How could you know if it ever works or not if you don't ever?
If you don't give it, if you don't
Yeah.
give it 100%, how do you know?
And-
Turning the doorknob 70%, it doesn't open. It's like, oh, this don't work.
It's like,
Right?
You might pass the level. You might overcome this adversity by not giving it 100%. Maybe you cut some corners or whatever the case may be, but were you fully trained for what's to come?
Yep.
Mm.
Right.
Real good.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And what that honestly told me, or how I kind of took from that, was like, it's not about yourself. It's not about you. So when you serve other people, when you do things for people, it's not about you. It's not about, okay, if I do this, then they're gonna pay me in return, or they're gonna. No, it's just I just want to see you happy, or I just wanted to make your day, or something other than that nature. And then in the end, you will reap the benefits for it, which is very powerful.
That was nice.
That was great, man. That was great. Man, that was a good one. Can't wait to clip that one. That's gonna be fun with that one. But it's been another pod. It's been another great twin pod. Just want to say again, we always say this to our guests. We thank Njack for coming and just showing love and
Appreciate
just sitting down with us and just talking game, giving game, and and vice versa. We appreciate what you do. We appreciate the success that you got and that you're going to get in the future.
First of many.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, more things to talk about.
Yeah. So
Right.
the door is always open for you. We for all of our guests that come on, it's not gonna be a first and last time. You can always come, show some love, and we just definitely, from us three, I know that we all think the same. We definitely appreciate for real for you coming on and showing that love and everything. And so before we go, I wouldn't be right to promote my little brother's a teammate from St. Pius. This is actually his shirt. It's a Hebrews. I think is it Hebrews?
That shirt's dope. I seen it earlier.
Yeah. I think this is Isaiah 40 and 31. 40 and 31. This is his shirt. I'm gonna put his at on the for a clip for his own. His name is Saul. He's a bucket though. He's a bucket for real. He can hoop. He can hoop for real. So Saul, thank you for the shirt. Please go. I'm gonna put his Instagram on his own clip. Please go take a look. It's not his only shirt. He got other shirts that if you're a faithful person, he got a lot of shirts like this, and just wants to put basketball and God into one. So I definitely love the shirt, and I wanted to have his shirt on the pod one time. So I thank you for allowing me to wear this shirt and represent you. But other than that, man, anything you guys need to say before we get going, before we wrap this up?
None. This has been our deepest pod.
Yeah.
It's been our deepest.
It's definitely been a good one to just.
It was a great.
It's always good to just talk, just sit and talk, man. It's always good to just sit and talk. It's always good to just sit there and just hear everybody. Sometimes I don't even need to talk. I'm glad that Ken, as far from episode 1, episode 11, Ken is definitely improving. He's able to express his emotions.
My God.
I'm glad that he's able to do that now, because at first he would just be sitting there for about 30 minutes.
How you doing, Kendall?
Don't say nothing.
I'm about to get on his head real quick. What Kendall does do that they had said on the podcast, because I listened, I was like, he did that to me. And I was offended, and I did not know that he does it to everybody.
I'm telling you.
He will disappear and
Just
be in Texas, out the country, and he won't tell no
don't
one.
say anything.
I'm like, dang.
Don't say anything.
We on a 3-way FaceTime call. Oh yeah, blah blah. Y'all trying to go to the club later on? I'm in Texas. Huh?
And
When?
When did you go?
Now I know.
I'm like, hey nigga,
And I'm not easy
You
to
ain't
take
doing that
offense,
shit,
but
no
I'm
more.
like, bro, I'm like,
Jesus.
check in. And it's not, it's just because we love you, and it's because we care, and we think that as far as our community that we have as amongst men and as amongst brothers, we just want to know that, yo,
You good?
good.
You
She
straight?
be
I
out.
see.
And I be feeling like, dang.
did I do something wrong? God,
And that's how I feel, and I think that for a minute caused a rift in our relationship, because we wasn't hanging out as much. I'm like, he don't want to be around me, because we was hanging out every day. And then I'm like, oh, he's gone now. Like, I would have told him I was in Texas if you wanted to come.
Yeah.
If not, hey, bro, I'm going with. But, and of course, that much requirement is straining. So I would never want you to feel like you had to continue to tell people where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
But it was the big ones.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro.
I care about the big. Like, if you hop on a
If
plane
you
and
hop on a
go
plane and
somewhere,
go somewhere, yeah.
the rule is you check in with somebody.
someone.
I don't care where you go around LA.
I don't care if it's drive. If you got to drive, all right, cool. I don't give a fuck. But on a plane, especially now with these fucking planes, bro, you let me know. Just put a simple text. I'm going to Texas. I'm going to somewhere. Blah blah blah. I'm gonna hop on this plane. See ya.
Yes.
Bye. All right,
it,
cool.
it just goes to just show how you know from episode 1 to episode 11 now how he's improving, and all of us how we're improving. We was I can't wait to when we get to like episode 50, I'm gonna definitely go back to episode 1, just seeing how like I wouldn't say we was nervous, but we was just like, where do I don't even know how to start. I don't know where to
Uncharted
go with it.
territory.
Like it was just new. Yeah, it was just uncharted territory. So just seeing that only from 11 episodes and you just massive improvement. I'll just say that on camera. Yeah, he's definitely getting better. And just seeing him just talk, I'm just be like, man, I'm here. You know. So, but yeah, other than that,
We love you, Ken. My brother, man.
and I'm proud of everybody, man. I'm glad, you know, and thank you for Twin in the back, man. He's been sitting there. He got the exclusive pass today. He's able to watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
So we appreciate him too and everything. But yeah, we appreciate everything we got going on. Did you want to shout out your brand?
Come over here.
Get
He
your
just
brand
told me
in,
to put
man.
my hands out of my pocket. That's my manager.
Tell him what's up, man. Let him know who you are. Let me get you in frame real quick. Yeah, come in, talk to us, man. What you doing? Make sure the thing is in frame real quick.
I mean, yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. Make sure it's still rolling. It's good. It's rolling. Just make sure it's rolling. Don't want that thing to randomly turn off. Okay. Talk to him, man. Let him know who you are.
Oh wow, this professional. I appreciate y'all for having me. You know,
Yeah.
From the podcast and what I've seen, you know, you guys did your thing.
Yeah.
Happy you guys were able to have Noah on.
Yeah.
I feel like you guys just have a great connection. You guys are just have that bond.
Definitely.
I can already tell you guys
Definitely.
strive for the same things,
Yeah.
the same future. And I'm grateful to just experience this and just to watch and have the behind the scenes of it. So, yeah, no, this is a great podcast. I'm gonna be reposting this.
shout out your bit, man. Let them know.
So this is my business, LensLink. So if you need any photographer or videographer around the country, this is the first place where you can book someone in under 30 seconds.
Right.
It doesn't matter your budget, location, whatever you need. This is a big thing. So it's launching soon. You can join the wait list though. Yeah.
That's all we need to hear, man. We appreciate. We here to improve. We here to elevate everybody. So anybody around here, we ain't about to just sit here and just not have you. You got your business. Let the world, let the people know what you got going on, man. So I'll just appreciate y'all for coming. Appreciate you for doing what Njack does best. And it's been another good one, man. I'm excited to get these clips up, man. I'm excited to show the world, this next episode. So, but yeah, let's get up out of here. If you want to, you just want to say a quick? I know you like praying.
Yeah,
you a quick prayer.
Did you want to hop back in frame?
Yeah, let's get one in, man. Let's get one in.
You can hang right here.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's get one in, man. I think it's only
Dear
right.
Dear Heavenly Father, we come again. Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you today, Lord. You say where 2 or 3 are gathered, your presence is here. And we thank you for another day that you have given us, Lord, that you provide us with our next steps and continue to illuminate our lives, Lord. We pray that you continue to give us peace, Lord, that's only profound through you, Lord, and not through this world that we live in today. We pray for anybody who's listening to this podcast, Lord, that they are affected by these words, Lord, that anything that they are going through, Lord, that you're able to change or make right, that any tools that were able to be given to them that they're able to use. In your heavenly name we pray, amen.
Amen.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, Njack.
Appreciate it.
That's a wrap for Twin Paw, man. Thank you.
Indeed.